see here. All right. See. It's not working. Yeah. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to see if I can get B Miles on. You know, I did send him a text message. I'm not sure if he got it or not. But let me try to send him another one. See. See if I can send him a message here. Just give me one moment. Okay, let's see if it's there. All right. All right. Let's see if I can get that. Okay. All right. See if I can text this to him. Get them on that way. All right. Let's see here. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay.
Hey, what's up, Lisa?
Hey, what's up? Did you get my text message?
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
You're real low.
I am? Okay, hold on.
All right, Lisa, give me 1 second. I'm gonna tell my homeboy I'm gonna call him right back, all right?
All right. Look for my text message, okay?
Okay, got you.
All right, bye. All right. So hopefully he'll be on soon. I invited, let me close this. I invited B Miles to come on, and we're going to just kind of chop it up with each other this afternoon. Some of you might have already heard, they have blocked him from uploading videos. You know, they're making the rounds on all Black YouTubers. So you can expect anything at this point. It's almost like on a daily basis, we're hearing about someone that can no longer either do live stream or upload or do anything. So it's just becoming commonplace. And quite frankly, I'm tired of the whole thing. But welcome. And we got a lot to talk about. Yeah, if you were on the East Coast, especially in the Northeast, and you saw that treacherous weather yesterday, it was crazy. And I was hearing on the news 6 people died from that storm yesterday. It was bad. I mean, the wind was kicking, it was snowing, it was raining. It was a crazy, crazy day. Yeah, yeah. In fact, B Miles, he's in Maryland, and he was talking about how crazy it was there. I think most of the East Coast got hit with that storm. That was I haven't seen a storm that bad in a long time. That was really bad. You know, I don't know. I did appeal my them putting the copyright strike on me. I did appeal that. I still haven't heard back from YouTube. But the whole thing is silly. they're trying to say that I'm inciting violence. And I haven't incited violence about what talking about opioids is inciting violence. You know what's inciting violence? You know, I just these people are just too much. They are at the point where anything is racist, anything is violent, anything is we're at that point now. All right. Hopefully he'll be on soon. All right. All right. I got the volume all the way up. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, I heard about her, but you know, the bottom line is, these people can't handle anything. You can just have a simple conversation about a news story and they want to flag your channel. I mean, that's how fragile they are. And it's ridiculous. Yeah, we had a lot of wind yesterday. We had wind gusts. When I looked at the news when the storm was going on, it said we had wind gusts up to 85, not 85, I'm sorry, 65 miles an hour. But most of the day it fluctuated anywhere from 25 miles an hour to 65 miles an hour. It was crazy. It was definitely not a day to be out. It was not a day to be going anywhere. Yeah, I don't know. You know, like I said, I appealed my copyright strike, just waiting to hear back from them. And then I'll decide what I'm going to do. But, YouTube is full of shit. And we know what they do to Black YouTubers. Yeah, yeah. In New Jersey, they had clock speeds up to 65 miles an hour yesterday. So, I mean, like I said, it's still windy today, but it's nothing like yesterday. Yesterday was far worse. Yeah. It just seems like this whole thing with YouTube, it just goes from, it's been real extreme. And like I said, I mean, just this whole week, your radical home sister, she got a strike. I got a strike. B Miles, he's got a strike, and I'm now starting to believe the 10,000 people that they hired is to monitor the Black channels. That's what I'm starting to believe. No, it's not so beautiful here. I mean, the sun is out and everything, but it's still pretty windy. But minus the snow. We don't have the snow today. Yeah, yeah, I couldn't. Oh man, Jamal, how could you walk out there? Wind was, I don't know where you were, but yesterday that wind was way too bad to be walking in. That was pretty treacherous. And I tell you what, if that's a sign of what it's going to be like this year with storms, we're going to be in for something. I guess my guesstimation, since we are in the last days, we're going to see some really, really major storms coming for real. Yeah. This is crazy. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if he got my text message. I sure hope he did. Okay. Oh, okay. You live near the sports complex. Okay. I didn't live too far from there when I was growing up. If you know where the sports complex is in Philly, then you know where Island Avenue is. Do you know where Island Avenue is? You have to know where Island Avenue is. You would have to know that if you're in Philly. I didn't live far from Island Avenue. You know, you can go from South Philly into Southwest Philly from, right on Island Avenue. Okay. 143. Yep, that's the same number. We'll see if he makes it. Yeah, I got my channel set up on Black Spot TV too, but I'm still having a problem uploading. They had to do some things to my account. So I don't know, in order for me to even get in, because when I initially went on, I couldn't even get in. And I had to contact Black Spotted Men. I'm at least able to get in now, but now I'm still experiencing problems uploading. So hopefully they'll get all of that hashed out over there, and I'll start putting things up on Black Spot TV. Okay. All right. There are a few things I do want to show y'all. Hold on. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Hold on here. All right, let me play this video for you. This is
the shooting.
Hold on. This is the judge. Now, is this I don't want to see this interview of, hold on. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. Hold on. Let me see if I can start the video. No, that's not what I want.
I have no evidence of that in anything that I've looked at. My focus has been primarily on the timeline of services and what we were doing in the district. And so he, I think it was January of 2016 to June of 2016, he was, we tried to do a transition where he's spending half of his day at the Behavior Center across Creek and the other half at Stoneman Douglas. That transition process worked well. And so a decision was made to help him to reintegrate back into the school. So he was enrolled as a full-time student in August of 2016, turned 18 in September. By November, his situation had deteriorated into the school, I don't have the specifics on it. I can just tell you generally what I know. He was having issues in the school. It's significant enough that it precipitated the team of individuals that provide services to him. I imagine that might have been behavior specialists, psychologists, counselors. They come together periodically as a team to look at a student's IEP and decide what is the appropriate interventions and environment for them to be successful in. It's through that process, they recommended that he return back to the Cross Creek Behavior Center. That's why I looked at the timeline. There's nothing that I see at the moment that suggests that staff did anything out of the ordinary that we would do for a student exhibiting behavior issues. He spent most of his time, 8th, 9th, and 10th grade. He was at a behavior center. They tried to reintegrate him to the school for a short period of time. He spent a total of maybe 4 or 5 months when you add it all up in this school, and that was not successful. And he was referred back to the behavior center. When a student becomes an adult, and in conjunction with their guardian, they can revoke services, which is what they did in this case. So let me just say, students that would bring weapons to school, yeah, there are consequences for it. That's firmly laid out in our student code of conduct. I mean, I hear these allegations, but I haven't actually seen any reports of that or anyone that have signed anything that would indicate that he had some, weapon in school. In this day and age, there's got to be some process that incorporates some serious investigations of what is being put out on social media. So we'll look at all of the different angles and try to figure out what we can do better as a district. But at some point, how do we take action? Because the biggest problem is we could provide services perfectly if the individual is still able to go out and buy a semi-automatic weapon. That becomes a major hole in anything that we could possibly do. And so that's got to be fixed.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to hear. That was a man by the name. That was a man by the name of Robert Runcie. He's actually the superintendent for Broward County Schools. And the one thing that I wanted you to hear was there were reports of Nicholas Cruz had brought weapons to school. And that was as far back as 2006. And it just goes to show you how badly everybody dropped the ball in this case, and including the school district. They dropped the ball too. So when you think about it, the whole thing is a disaster, right? You have the sheriff's department and the FBI that ignored the calls, right? You have...
What's up, Lisa?
Hi, Miles, you made it.
Yeah, that's right, girl. Yeah, I'm here. I'm up on the chat right now, as you can see. What's going on with you?
Oh, we're just, a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I know. That's because I'm up on the bus. You need me to put my headphones on?
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Get off another side. So all the way around to what's the law.
So,
It's still have to go down to the contract, but you still can't instead of okay, we're not talking show. I said when we get there, our objective is into the layout and then work my way back to the A. Oh, yeah.
Lisa.
Yes.
All right. Now
Okay.
I can hear you with the phone on.
Okay. Okay, he's just trying to get himself situated. give him about a minute.
Now.
Okay.
All right, you know what I'm gonna. All right, Lisa, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead, because I got the headphones on, but I can't really hear you.
Okay.
I can't really hear you, nothing like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just do it off the headphones.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready when you are, Lisa.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
All right, y'all. Yeah. I can hear you loud and clear, hon.
Okay. All right. So B Mouse is in the house, y'all. All right. So what I want you to do.
That door. All right, you hear me, Lisa?
Yes.
All right, okay, cool, wonderful. I can hear you loud and clear. If you hear like noise in the background, that's because I'm outside right now. I'm just in Baltimore right now making moves right about now, but I can hear you loud and clear, hon.
Okay. What I wanted you to do was to explain to everybody what had happened on your channel.
All right, okay, wonderful. All right, okay, wonderful, great. All right, okay, what happened, y'all? All right, now I actually uploaded the video recently. I uploaded 3 videos almost about a week ago, right? And that's when all of a sudden, right, that's when I actually reached 6,000 subscribers actually like yesterday. And I wanted to put up a video, to thank my subscribers and my fans. So when I wanted to thank my subscribers and my fans and all that, that's when they said the video could not be uploaded. Because I actually tried to upload a video saying that the black church has failed black women. They took it down saying that it was actually hate speech. So I'm looking at this shit like, how the fuck is that hate speech when at the same time I'm only speaking the truth because the black church is failing. But back to the case in point. And that's when all of a sudden, right? That's when all of a sudden I looked up. They they actually gave me a strike. So that's when they gave me a strike. Then they flagged one of my videos because a couple of my videos actually got flagged. The one video, it was actually called the Congress were talking about it's okay to be white posters. That video got flagged. You feel me? That video got taken down. That's when a couple of them got taken down, or they wound up being blocked and all that. All of a sudden, I'm gonna say recently, when they took down the other video, I'm sitting around here like, yo, what the fuck now? I can't even live stream anymore. So I can't even live stream anymore. And then not to mention, I can't even upload videos. They said I'm not allowed to upload videos. And I'm saying to myself, like, now I can go up on YouTube and all that. I can check out videos, but I can't upload nothing. And now when I checked again, I'm at 6,157 subscribers because these bastards telling me that I'm not allowed.
Right. Yeah. I think all of, it seems like they're keeping around.
Oh, say it again.
And many of us are getting hit. And I don't believe this is a coincidence.
No, not at all, Lisa. No, not at all, Lisa. It's not a coincidence at all because, that's exactly what they did when they came down to like Tariq Nasheed channel. My man Torian Rain, they did it to Cynthia Jean. They did it to Angel Ramirez Jordan. They did it to all of those channels. So now it's going on. We up under attack right now anyway because they know that the consciousness is gaining more steam and it's gaining a lot of momentum. Now, right now, peep this. Haven't you noticed something? They've really been attacking channels even more since the Black Panther came out?
Yes.
I want people to really think about that because now what they're doing is they've really seen a lot of our people are waking up. And they're seeing the self-esteem of us as a people. We are waking up really fast. And a lot of our people, man, you know what I'm saying? We got these platforms and we exposing them.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying? And we are exposing these devils for who they really are. Why? Because they already know that their time is up. So you know what I mean. So the more and more they keep us solid, the more and more that you know what I mean. The more and more that the frequency is going to be at a lower level anyway. Because see, what I noticed right after the Black Panther video, more and more channels started to get taken down. That's when I put up something dealing with like the Killmonger situation right along with Black Panther. You know what I mean? And that's when I put up another video. That's what I noticed right after that situation coming out of the Black Panther. That's when my whole goddamn channel has been sabotaged. Now it's still up. I just cannot put up videos. But these motherfuckers are so damn mad right about now because we are literally exposing them and coming with the receipts. And we are literally, I'm talking about white supremacy, which is really called white fragility. They taking a lot of L's.
Yes.
Because they taking a lot of L's. I'm talking about, we got my girl Lisa, we got our man Elder Rasa Shakur, we got you know what I'm saying, Tariq Nasheed, we got Cynthia G, and we banging on the ass, you feel what I mean? And these sons of bitches don't like any fucking thing what we are doing.
Right.
Because we are raising up the frequency of our people and they don't like that.
Yeah, and you know, and the people are putting other people, Truth Unveiled, Mr. Superboy 223. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all under attack right now.
Yes, we are. Then of course you got
warfare playing the warfare on us.
Yeah, yes it is. Yep, yes it is. Yes it is, because the war yeah, man, especially when it came down talking about we going to demonetize videos. That's part of the reason why they wanted to monetize videos, because some man Phil from the Abad show, he was going to shut down his platform. He almost had a goddamn million. He almost had a goddamn million subscribers, but yet you got people, you know what I mean, on that fucking alt-right bullshit white supremacist channel named Red Ice. They never get taken down.
No.
They never get taken down, and they got Colin Flaherty who coming up with all these fake ass stories about black, you know what I'm saying, black and white crime and all of this other stuff, coming up with fake statistics.
Yeah.
Exactly, Lisa. Right. Then of course you got that fucking fat, low-key white supremacist Alex Jones who telling a whole bunch of goddamn lies all the fucking time, but his goddamn channel's still up. Even that bitch ass coon ass, you know what I mean, Mr. Crispy Thomas Sotomayor, his channel's still up, and he bashes every fucking day.
Yeah.
This Negro bashes every fucking day, and his channel not sabotaged. So what does that say? As long as your coon is shucking and jiving and you're not putting out the truth against them, they don't give a fuck.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You know, and they are literally calling everything hate. Literally calling every damn thing hate.
Yep. Every goddamn day, man, they call it a hate speech. And see, that's something they've been calling for a long time. Like, every time we expose the truth about them, they always want to call it hate speech. That's the same thing what they did to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X. They did it to Khalid Abdul Muhammad. They did it to, like, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark. You know what I mean? They did it to Minister Farrakhan. They did it to all of these great scholars. Every time we expose these people and you uncover them of what they're doing, we got to understand something. We are going to be attacked. You feel me? And that's part of the reason why, you know what I'm saying, we got to start operating, having our own. Or I'm going to say, if we're going to be on these platforms, we got to start talking in code. Right. You feel me? We got to start talking in code because, you know what I mean? Now, when it comes down to our platform, we already know. We already know, you know what I'm saying, who we talking about. You feel me? Because, see, they're really mad and they are upset. And what we are looking at right about now, we are watching the fall of the damn Caucasoid in America, and we're exposing them for who they really are. They don't like none of that shit.
Yeah.
They don't want us to, right? You feel what I mean, Lisa? I'm talking about, they don't want us to be banging on them, talking about what's going on with the opioid epidemic. You know what I'm saying? That suicide rate at an all-time high, white on white crime at an all-time high, that suicide rate, you know what I mean? That sun burning their ass up. You know what I mean, Lisa? It's like, it's so much shit that you put out there that literally I'm like, damn, for real? I'm like, this girl banging on them. You know what I mean? And then, of course, my platform, Elder Rasa Shakur, and they're seeing, and another reason why they want to attack us, we are waking up people worldwide.
Yeah.
We got people, I literally ran into people from like Belize, Trinidad, Africa, Zimbabwe, Australia, the UK, and we are waking up and by their frequency because the devil know what time it is. They know our frequency is at an all-time high. You know what I mean? It's gaining a lot of momentum and a lot of steam. You feel what I mean? So they don't want us, you know what I mean, They don't want us to put it out there for the rest of the melanated people around the world, because the minute, you know what I mean, the more is over here in the West, and we do the same thing worldwide, they see that as revolution. We got to understand that.
Okay. All right. I don't know if we got disconnected or what, but you know, perhaps he can get back on. Yeah, their time is up. It really is. And all they're doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, all they're doing is buying time. They are just trying to buy time and keep us distracted from who they really are and the truth. That's what it's all about. And the thing is, they're not going to stop this judgment. They have no way of stopping it. It does not matter what they do at this point in time. They are not going to stop the judgment that's fallen upon them right now. And it's a lot going on with them. It really is a lot going on. Yeah, I think he might have dropped off, but you know, he has the link to the Hangout, so he'll be able to get back in. Yeah, yeah. I woke up around 2011. That's when I woke up. You know, and I picked up the Bible and I started reading it, and boy, when you know who you are and you pick up that either the Bible or Torah and start reading it, boy, what a difference. And it's almost like you have a better understanding of what the word means because you know who you are. It makes all the difference in the world between sitting around and believing you're a Gentile and you're not. And do you notice that in the black church, you're told, no, we're Gentiles. We're Gentiles. And if you notice, the people that are walking around are actual Hebrew brothers and sisters that are walking around and believing they are Gentiles. They have no understanding of the Bible, but the people that know who they are and know their Hebrew, they all of a sudden have a clear understanding of what the word means. You know, I think there's something to that. I really believe that. But yeah, I can't believe Truth Unveil. He just does a lot of scripture type videos and videos on, things that are going on out here today. And he mixes in, scripture with it, and they hit him. I mean, how can you hit him? What if I guess because he's talking too much about their judgment in those videos. That's probably what it is. Yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, there are still people in the black church that believe they are Gentiles. I mean, it's a disgrace how badly misguided so many of our people are. It is such a disgrace. In fact, the whole time I was in church, the minister that I was listening to never told us who we were. And I was in the church for years, never told us who we were. You two trolling stalkers followed me all the way to Black Junction. Yeah, one followed me too, Sister Shayla. One followed me too and was flagging my videos down over on Black Junction TV. But I haven't seen him lately. I haven't seen him. So, but one actually followed me over there too. But you see the level of desperation they have in just stalking us. They want to stalk us so badly. If we go to another platform, they try to follow us to that platform too. It's just incredible. I don't know, but I know Truth Unveil got flagged. He just got hit. And he mainly does scripture. And they're talking about he's doing hate speech. So I guess everything is now labeled as hate speech. Yeah, they are. Yeah, fragility is real, y'all. It is real. No, you can really get them off of there. Now he gave everybody the ability to block. You know, before over on Black Junction, we did not have the ability to block, but we do now. So if anybody come along, we can block them and then turn around and report them. So it's really not much they can do over there without getting their asses kicked out. But you know how they are. They will follow us to the gates of hell if we went there. They would try to come and see, that's the thing. You know, a lot of our people talk about leaving America, and me, I'm down with that, but I don't see the purpose in leaving this country and then going somewhere else and there in that location too. The only way I will leave, they got to clear out. Wherever they got to clear out, because I'm not going to look at their faces here and then move somewhere else and I got to look at them all over again. No, no deal on that, man. Screw that. I know. To be honest with you, as badly as I would love to go to Africa, because they are there, that turns me off from going. Yeah, yeah, he doesn't do, he just does scripture. I just don't see how that's hate speech. I tell you what, you know what I'm keeping my eye on, y'all? I'm keeping my eye on Europe and the US, because you know what they'll do, and this is the sneaky shit they will do. Since those South Africans lost their land, don't be surprised if the US and Europe try to give them some kind of reparations, because it is the habit. This is how they have done things all through the past. When they had to give up their slaves, the slaves didn't get no reparation, the slave owners did. Okay? Whenever they stand to lose in a situation, these countries will pay out to them. So I'm just keeping my eye on it, but don't be shocked if you hear about these nations paying these South Africans some kind of compensation because they lost their land in South Africa, these Afrikaners. Don't be surprised if that comes up in the near future. This is the sneaky shit they do. But they'll look at Black people and tell us we can't have reparations. But I tell you what, if they give these South Africans a dime, you know I'm coming on here to blast them to kingdom come over that, okay? Because I will. You know, they don't like for their own to go without. Yeah, and the Holocaust didn't even happen in this land, but Israel gets money every single year from the US. But I'm just telling you, do not be surprised if you start hearing rumors about all these European and US giving them compensation because they lost their land in South Africa. Don't be surprised, because it is their usual pattern. But see, you kind of do, my greatness inside of me. You know why? Because they dominate everything in Africa. That's the problem. It's not like you would go over there and you would be free and you would be among the African people. Most of those countries over in Africa are under white rule. Do you know that France actually controls, I think, like up to 13 different African countries? And most of them are on the West Coast. You know, they still got too much heavy influence in Africa, and so does China. You know, those people gotta go. They gotta go. Seriously. They gotta go. They still got too much influence in Africa. Africa, remember, is cut up and controlled by the European nations and the US. That's why you always hear about them sending troops into Africa, just like David Jones, Johnson, that got killed there. The US sent those troops into Africa because they are still controlling those countries there. So, yeah, they got to get out. Really, the entire globe owes us reparation because we were enslaved everywhere. We were enslaved in South America, North America, Europe. There were the islands, Africa. We have all over the Middle East. We have been enslaved everywhere. Technically, this entire globe owes us reparation. Nations owes us reparations, and that's the truth. It's not just America. Our people have been enslaved everywhere. Well, most of them Hamite leaders, they're still kissing the white man's ass. That's what they're doing. Yeah, because they still control those areas over in Africa. That's why I'm telling you, you go to live in Africa, just know that you're going to be living in a nation that's still under white rule. Yeah, they may have a black African puppet as a president, but they are still heavily controlled by the West. Well, a lot of the governments over in Africa are ran by coons, and they're corrupt by money that they get from the Western nations. So as long as they get to fill their pockets with money, it's not hard for them to sell their people out. They'll sell their people out and don't give a damn. And this is why when things happen, you rarely hear an African president speak out heavily against the West. They usually try to tread lightly because, the games that white people play. If you go against them, then they're going to withhold the money and withhold things from you because, see, they use everything at their disposal as a weapon. Yeah, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is over in Africa. So, I mean, you can go there and live if you want, but just know that those nations are very much heavily controlled and influenced by the Western nations. That's why they cut the whole part of Africa up into sections just so they could have it and control it and take all the resources out of it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's easy to say we want to go somewhere, but always look at where you're going. If you notice it's got a heavy white influence, then, I mean, I guess you can go if you really want to, but just know it's still going to have that, as long as white people got their hands in everything, it's never going to be right no matter where you go. Very true, Paulette. They sure do. Israel controls everything, even the US. That's very true. But by all means, get your passport, especially in now that we're in the last days, get your passport. I agree with that. I got my passport. My son has his passport. We got our passports here, and you definitely should get it. Be prepared for anything. Yeah, they always increase the passports. It's like every 10 years, it's like they quadruple the price since I've been getting passports. I'm actually on my 4th passport. I'm on my 4th one. So, yeah, yeah. So, that's the way it is. You can go anywhere, but try to always look at who's controlling what country in Africa. Because I can tell you it's going to be one of the European nations or the US. Yeah, well, that's a smart move for South Africa, J-Dog. South Africa is cutting ties with Israel. Good for them. Good for them. All right, let me see if I can get B Miles back on. Let's see here. I don't know if he can't get back on or what. Let's see here. See if I can get him back on.
Please leave your message for
B Miles.
Hi, B Miles, it's Lisa. I'm just calling to see if you were able to get back on. Hopefully you'll be able to connect again. We're still here. If you come back on, the group is still here. Peace, brother. All right. But getting back to YouTube, this is just the way it is. You got Logan Paul, who's still got his channel, and he showed a dead body and electrically shocked some dead animal. And, that kind of foolishness is fine. But talking about the real issues on here, that's a problem. But Africa right now, especially South Africa, if they're able to get all those white people out of there in South Africa, that might actually be an ideal place to look at, but you got to kind of sit and wait to see what they're going to do, as far as getting them out. Now, many of them are going to leave on their own because they're going to be butt sore about losing that land that they really had no entitlement to in the first place. But you know what? I'm so glad this new president that came in South Africa, this is like the first thing he did as soon as he got in office is start voting on taking that land back that they had. Now, that's unbelievable. Here you got a continent that is black from the top of the continent down to the bottom, but 70% of South African land was all white people. Get out of here with that crap. And they just teach so many lies. It's just incredible. And like yesterday, I was telling you, I couldn't believe some white woman came on to my comment section and had the audacity to write that apartheid shit, that whites were the first ones in Africa and the black people, they all came in from Jamaica. I was like, y'all will do and say anything just to justify your stealing. That's just justification for stealing. And there's no justifying it. And I had several of them say, well, we came in there because They weren't using the land. And do you know 47% of the US is not being used? So is it okay for the Mexicans to come across the border and say, well, you weren't using the 47% of the land, so we just gonna come and take it? They would have a fit, and they know it. Yes, South Africa does have a water shortage, and I did report on that. I did a story on that. Yes. And you know what, Michelle? That's probably another way the Most High is going to get them out of there, is drying up the water source. That's another way he'll get them out of that land. But they'll all leave, and they'll find a way to get the poor ones out there, because there's a lot of poor white people in South Africa living in squalor. So they'll try to get them out of there too. But I'm just telling you, if Trump lets them come here, which there's a chance he might, because they're complaining about their population. So if he lets them come here, I'm telling you, they're gonna bring that apartheid built-in attitude that they have. They're gonna bring that with them too. Yeah, come on. They can miss me with that. They were the first ones in the land. They aren't the first one in any land on this planet. Okay? Their recessive asses showed up on the planet last. They are not first anywhere on the earth. Not just South Africa, nowhere. They haven't been getting any rain, my greatness inside of me, in South Africa. So everything is literally drying up. That's how they got a water shortage, lack of rain. What, the South Africans? Is that what you're asking, Dolly? What can we do for them? The only thing we can do, really, if you want to really be productive, the only thing we can really do is see if we can build a relationship with the South Africans. And perhaps when they finally get all of their land, some of us can go over there and help them with agriculture. That would be a great way to build a relationship with them. But, we can't really do much until they get all them damn white folks out of there that are still literally controlling South Africa. And that's another reason why they're swiping the land away from them, is because they're taking that little bit of power they got left away. Because listen, many of those white South Africans were putting signs up talking about black people couldn't come over here, and you couldn't be in this part of the town. See, they're still playing that apartheid shit, telling black people where they can and cannot go. See, they have that power as long as they have the land. But once you take that land away, you literally have taken all of their power away in South Africa. So that's really a smart move in getting rid of them. See, they want to dominate everything. As long as they had the land, technically they could, because they could tell people to stay off of their property. Or if people were walking through a certain way, you can't walk over here. You can, that kind of stuff. So by them taking the land, you're now taking all of their power away from them that they do have in South Africa. Yeah, exactly. Jada T. Hi, True Royal. I had B Miles on here for a while and we kind of lost him. I tried to call him back, but I went straight to his voicemail. I hope he can get back on because he was supposed to set up a new channel and let us know what channel, to go to. So hopefully he'll get that set up so that we can subscribe to him over in his new channel. But that's the biggest problem Africa is having. The only other upside, China is not in South Africa. China's not in South Africa. So, once you get the white people out, you damn near got all the outsiders out. So until they leave, I wouldn't recommend going. I mean, I guess you could go if you really want to, but I wouldn't recommend going until they get their racist behinds out of there. And it's just the beginning. South Africa is the beginning. Yeah, hopefully the rest of Africa will get the same idea. I just hope they get the same idea because these people are in too many countries in Africa. And they got to get their asses the hell up on out of there. Yeah, they're doing it a little more than the white people, CK, but really even they need to get out of Africa. All of them need to get the hell out of there. Every last one of those groups that are not native to that land got to get out of there because they all come with that attitude of domination. They all do it no matter where they go. Yeah, and be careful because I spoke to someone from Ghana and they said their president is a coon. So be careful even with Ghana. I know the president spoke out, but many of the people from Ghana that I chatted with online, they said, although he spoke up to the French president, he's still very much a coon. So be careful, even thinking about Ghana. Definitely go, but be cautious as far as living there permanently for now. Yeah, Trump won't even help these opioid addicts. Come on. It won't. Don't worry about that. Trump won't even help these damn opioid addicts. And then plus you got to also consider, how are these farmers in America already established with farms are going to put up with these foreigners coming here trying to farm too? Trust me, this is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem even among white people. If you think these white farmers are going to be happy about a bunch of South African farmers coming here, you got another thought coming. It's going to cause a lot more infighting. I mean, don't even be surprised if you turn on your news one day, if they do come here, you turn on your news one day and the white Americans and white South Africans are fighting. Don't be shocked. I really believe it would come to that. Because if you think they're not going to come here with that apartheid attitude they got, you got another thought coming. Because they're going to come with that attitude full blown to America and try to kick up all that mess while they're here. Yeah, they are. You are. You got to understand, you already got this white beast here in America with their oppressive nature. Now you got these apartheid babies coming here. It ain't going to be pretty. And you know, they're both looking for domination. And yes, they will be fighting for that domination among each other. In fact, some of the South Africans went to Sweden, I believe. I may have to look this up. Sweden, some of them went to Sweden to live. Do you know what the Swedish government did to them, those South Africans? They clashed so badly with the Swedish people, they put them on boats and sent them back to South Africa. That's what the Swedish government did to the white South African. I kid you not. Those people don't get along with anyone, not even other whites. It's going to be a disaster if they come here. But that's what the Swedish government did. They put their asses back on the boats and carted them back to South Africa. And nobody ever talks about that. Yes. Yes. They caused so many problems in that country, and that's a European country. They caused so many problems. The government shipped those white Afrikaners right back to South Africa, kicked them out. So you got to filter in. Those are going to be the same kind that's going to come to America, y'all. Is going to be that same type that they carted out of Europe. So you know right off the bat, you cannot get along with these demons. You will not be able to get along with these demons. Yeah, Mother Nature, they're going to do the same thing here. All I have to say is if they come here, they better stay clear of me. I don't want their flat accent sounding asses around me. Flat ass, flat accent, lice filled ass. Keep yourself away from me. I can't stand their flat sounding accent. It just sounds horrible to me. Their voice is equivalent to scratching a chalkboard when I hear them South Africans talking. Is equivalent to scratching a damn chalkboard. You know, I bet you a lot of countries will not take them in. They will not take them in. No, y'all, I'm wrong. It was not Sweden. It was Switzerland. Switzerland. South Africans went to Switzerland, and Switzerland sent their butts right back to South Africa. They caused so many problems in Switzerland. The Swiss government shipped their asses back to South Africa, didn't want them. So that says a lot. When a white nation don't even want these white people, that tells you right there, they are nothing but trouble. I don't think Germany's going to take them in either. Germany is struggling with an immigration problem right now. They got African migrants and all kinds of Arabs pouring into Germany. In fact, it's so out of control, they can't even control that in Germany. I can't see Germany saying yes to them because they wrote America, Germany, France, a couple of countries, France, and I think Finland. It was a couple of different European nations. And to be honest with you, right now, Germany is struggling with all of the migrants and and all of the immigrants there from the Middle East. They are struggling with that badly in Germany. I can't really, to be honest with you, I can't see Germany taking them in. And if Trump sends them in here, we can all send them living around Trump Tower. I don't want to see them anywhere else. Let them live in Trump Tower. Yeah, let them go to Iceland. Who the hell cares? Nobody, nobody here goes to Iceland. They can go there. Yeah, but I don't think England's going to take them in either. They are another country that's struggling with a bunch of migrants and um, all those Islamic people there from the Middle East. They're struggling with that badly in the UK too. That's why they did that Brexit, because they're trying to get people out of their country. They're not going to be happy about taking in those South African. Uh, what's that? They should try North Korea. That's right, Shelley W. I don't even think the North Koreans would take their butts in. Or they can do what the Nazis did, go to South America. Isn't that what the Nazis did after Germany? They went into Argentina. Well, there you go. Tell them to go to Argentina. Because you know what? The Dutch government probably don't want their asses. And they know it. That's why they're not trying to go back there at all. Most of them are Dutch and German. That's what most of them are. Well, many of them are already living in the slums. There's a bunch of poor ones that are in the slums. Yes, maybe Australia or New Zealand should take them. Just keep them far away from us. Yeah, we are. Because those people don't do nothing but cause trouble. Look at all the trouble they caused in South Africa. They had a murderous regime in place, killing Africans by the hundreds of thousands during apartheid. So do you think that attitude is gone? It's not. It's not. I tell you what, any African country that take them in, I just don't know. They definitely need to have their asses beat and handed back to them. Well, you know, in the last days, the Most High said everybody's going to go back to their own people. All right. Queen True Royal said, go back to your cave. And you notice they tell black people to go back to Africa, but you can't get them to go back to their country. You can't get them to go back. Yeah, I don't feel sorry for them. You know, they didn't have no compassion for the African people during apartheid. They had no compassion. Everything was about killing. And they have never, and you know, just like the Americans, they have never repented for any of that stuff. That's why judgment is on them now. And look at them, they got to vacate the land that they're in. That's how bad the judgment is on those people for what they've done since they've been in that land. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know racism is in Canada too. You know, and you're not really spared any racism. Yeah, they are. Many of them are living in squalor now because they have a system where for jobs they got to hire the South African blacks first. So they no longer have the preferential treatment in South Africa like they used to. That's why so many of them are living in squalor now. You know what? I don't think Putin would put up with them. I don't think that's why they will. They didn't pick Russia. You know why? Because Putin ain't putting up with that crap. He'd be the first to kick them out. Hey, wait a minute. Doesn't this fit Bible prophecy? Didn't the Most High said they would be the vagabonds on the earth, roaming around and not having any real home? Isn't it true in this case? They're vagabonds. They have no real home anywhere on this planet, technically. They don't have no real true origins anywhere. Yeah, you're right, Kingston. Putin would have them executed. He sure would. Putin ain't putting up with that crap. They come there starting that nonsense with those people in Russia. They won't be there very long. He ain't quite as stupid as Trump. Well, they can fund them all they want. When they get finished funding them, don't put their asses anywhere near me. That's all I'm saying. Most High said they would be fugitives and vagabonds, and that's what they are. Yeah, well, ripping them away from the land and then they got to go start all over somewhere else. That's a pretty major judgment. And the place that they're going to, they're not going to they may not survive. You got to look at it this way. They got a horrible mark of judgment on them right now. Their life is in the balance, and they done voted in South Africa to take that land. Okay, so any day now, people can start knocking on doors and telling them to get the hell out, get off of the land. And that's why they're sending their petitions around the globe trying to get somebody to take them in, because they know that time is coming. They are getting ready to literally remove them from the land. If they were smart, they would remove them from the land and rip down any structures on the land that belong to them. Homes, buildings, just demolish all that stuff. That way they don't try to come back. That's what I would do. I would demolish it and just put new structures there. And I wish that's what they would have done in Zimbabwe. It would have been harder for them to come back to the land if it would have been cleared off. Got everything taken down. Homes, barns, all that stuff. Just tear it down. They have nothing to come home to. Well, they probably wouldn't want to go to Russia because of the weather. They done got used to living in the hot African sun. They got the #1 skin cancer rate too, but they done got used to the warm weather. So they're not trying to Okay. Oh, thank you, Cap. I got to check that out. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, they're going to have a hard time getting along with anybody. And I really think it's not going to be smooth having them here, even for white folks. I don't believe, see, everybody is fantasizing about these people, but I think when reality sits in and they really see that they don't get along with them, it's going to be a big problem. I worked with one South African on a job before, and I could tell you a lot of the other white people in the office did not like this guy. He was a white man from South Africa, and he used to work when I was still in corporate America. He was the only South African in the office. And I can tell you, hardly no one in the office, including the other white people, got along with this man. And I remember that. I remember that. He was some old dark-haired, blue-eyed South Afrikaner, little devil. Yeah, that was why, Sister Shayla, because the Most High knew their nature and knew they had to remain separated from the rest of the population. He knew their nature. And you can clearly see after all these years, they're still not civilized. They never fully civilized at all. Yeah, I heard that. I think like on the North Lawn or the north side of the White House, some man shot himself out there. I heard about that. See, me, I believe that, before this is over, there is going to be a civil war in the United States, but I don't believe it's going to involve us. I believe it's going to be white people versus white people. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be us at all. As long as we don't act like coons and get all involved in it. Of course, the coons are always going to try to get involved in everything that they really have no business being involved in, but that's on them. Yes, they are, Spring Blossom. Yes, they are. There are some people that say that's why their hair is straight, because when they were up in those caves, they were having so much sex with dogs that the DNA actually got merged in with theirs. And that's why their hair is the texture that it is. If you look at it, it's very much like a dog. It's very much dog hair. That's why it attracts the same thing dog hair attracts. Dogs get fleas, they get lice, they get ticks and all that stuff in their hair. And so do white people. They get all that mess in their hair. That's why they got to wash their hair every single day. If they don't, they'll be attracting all kinds of insects to their heads. Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold on, True Royal. There's the link right there. Yeah, Michelle, everybody's talking about race war. It's going to be a civil war in America, and it's going to be white. It's going to be whites fighting other whites. Remember, the Most High said not for us not to worry about fighting the battles. He'll fight the battles for us. And that's all we got to do. Grab the popcorn, get the wine, kick your feet up, get the joint, whatever you enjoy. Well, Astarte Jones, their souls are definitely dead. Okay, hold on. I will email it to you. Let's see. Is this the one? Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, True Royal, check your email. I just sent it. Yeah, see me, I'm gonna get me some gourmet popcorn, y'all. Not just ordinary popcorn. I need popcorn for the occasion. Some nice, maybe some spicy flavor or some type of, some type of fun kind of popcorn. Yes.
Hello.
Hey, Queen, what's up?
I just wanted, since everybody's here almost, I wanted to tell everybody something that I noticed. I've been on YouTube 3 years now, and Mr. Superboy been on almost 7 years, and he said there's always different seasons for stuff on YouTube. And what I have noticed is that anytime there is something major that happened, like this big shooting, it's such an embarrassment to these cave beasts. They up in their feelings about it, so that they want to render down whatever they want to render down because of their sense of shame. And any of us that's talking about, their shit, basically, this is one of the ways that they have been attacking our channels. People haven't been getting their notifications. I got something strange 2 days ago saying, I got an email basically saying that one of my videos was flagged. And you know how when you appeal it, they'll let you know their decision.
Yeah.
It was never flagged. And I went to go see the video, and I said, they so busy doing what they are doing to us, they messing up at the same time. They, it's like that, and it's happened twice to me, where they were basically letting me know, okay, since you appealed this, this is our decision. And I'm like, I didn't even get flagged on that video. And they claim that they listen to these videos when they get flagged. No, they'll just look at the title and take it down. But they really up in their feelings. And you know, like when they had that election where they were trying to elect that pedophile. Though they were so
Roy Moore, right?
Yeah, Roy Moore. And those two cops found somebody to beat on, and they beat the hell out of that kid. And I'm just noticing a pattern with them where they're embarrassed about it. They listening to us talk. So this is another way that they can mess with us. Because remember one of the last hangouts you did, I had said, when you let me on for a bit, I had said, expect them. It's a matter of time for them to mess with all our channels. We should expect it. So I had did one of my unquote spiritual videos last night, and I was really thinking real deep about this, and I've been really breaking down their nature. And what we got to get past of doing is it's like some of us are still in shock that they messing with us, that they doing this and doing it. We should expect this because this is their nature, this is their behavior.
Exactly,
And
Queen. That's
mhm,
right. That's why I have all of my extra channels. I
mhm,
implemented it already.
yeah, yeah, you really must. And the thing is, um, I've been reading these quotes over and over to myself on the art of war, and one of them that stood out is we may lose a few battles, but the war in the spiritual world has already been won. It's just a matter of time before all of this ends. So yeah, expect them to lash out, expect them to do all this because they're up in their feelings. And I keep going by how exact our Father is. The 6,000 years is over. And it is incredible because me and my husband talk about it a lot. He has 10 years on me. And he's like, I've never seen this. We got reporters crying on TV. You got these, I've seen a couple of cops crying. And in that subconscious, deep in that subconscious, they know it's over. That's why they using these antics. They having meltdowns in the street.
They
And
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 I'm
I
going to tell you a story also.
okay.
Queen, about last year, I had to replace my hot water tank. My old one had burst in the house. And the guy that came out to replace my heater, it was a white guy. And he said, you know, everything is changing. And I said, yeah, I notice how things are changing. And he looked at me and he said, we're getting blamed for everything.
Hmm.
I know what he was talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but he came right out of his face and said, we're getting blamed for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, they have
Mm-hmm.
to see it.
And they super sensitive about it. You know, and this it just look at it. I'm not even surprised. It's almost comical to me. These white people in South Africa now they appealing to Trump. And the question I ask is why you not appealing to these other European countries and stuff? And they like big bubbling babies when everything has ran out. Um, they run into somebody to rescue them and stuff. And people have to realize they were guaranteed a job. It didn't matter if they went to school or not. And if people, you remember when apartheid had ended, a lot of those South Africans was hacking up entire families on those farms.
Yes.
I mean, they was not playing. And I remember when it all happened, I was pregnant with my oldest son.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, they going in. So I'm looking at this. My oldest son is almost 28. And this is just because a lot of them got their tails up out of there. And
Yeah.
it to show you their mindset, they don't fully understand the danger that they are in. Now, I can't pronounce his last name because I feel the same way that you feel about him. Julius. These folks is not playing and stuff. And what gave me joy was I'm so happy, especially in Zimbabwe, that Mugabe was able to get in the ear of the president there and say, no, they're not getting no land and they're not getting compensated. And in South Africa, the other brother said a lot of them, they don't really be growing nothing. They sit up there and boast that they got the land. They
Right.
just want, yeah, they ain't doing nothing with the
Oh,
land.
and his last name is Malema.
Malema.
Right.
Now, I
Now,
want to, okay, I'm listening.
yeah, now he's part of the same ANC that Nelson Mandela was part of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And you remember, you know, at one point in time, Nelson Mandela was a rebel against them.
Yes.
That's why he ended up in jail all those decades,
Mm-hmm.
sitting and sitting and sitting in jail.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is about them, they not only owned most of the land down there in South Africa, the biggest problem, especially after apartheid, was employment. So you know, the same people that owned all the land owned all the businesses. Get back at a lot of those Black South Africans. Of course, they weren't hiring them, but it got to the point where they had no choice but to hire them. You know, they couldn't use all white workers for all things. But you know, the thing is, Queen, clearing them off the land is going to resolve so many of the problems that they're having in South Africa.
That's true. That's true. And I really earnestly feel like it's going to be a ripple effect throughout Africa, and because they're gonna realize we don't need them. And the beautiful part about it is to show you how our Father worked. I like always saying the proper name. Akibalon is one of the youngest countries in the world, because they didn't killed off so many people with the AIDS and the Ebola, and they vaccinating them. So you got these young folks, and they not willing to take this mess, because you know, you're hearing people saying, "Oh, they mean this generation of kids." No, they not taking it. They not willing to bow and scrape and everything like that. But what I wanted to read to y'all real quick was a quote that I found this morning. It says this: the enemy always fights the hardest when he knows God has something great in store for you. Now they can play like they not reading the unquote good book in the lost books and everything, and they're sitting there astounded at how exact our Father is and how everything is being rendered down, because they didn't try every stall tactic they can use. And the sheer arrogance of them, every empire dies the same way. They stop believing in God. They have a God complex. And then eventually they're gonna get punished, and all we have to do is stay out of their affairs and stay out of their way, and the enemy will eat itself, because the enemy, or the beast,
That's what I was telling them.
has a thirst to kill. So let them kill themselves. And
they
like
already are. They already are. Queen, you know, speaking of that, I'm actually doing a video a little later, and this happened in California. 9 white students OD'd on opioids.
Damn.
At a party. They are literally consuming each other. They really are. You know, and like I said, they are going, you know, this alt-right and Antifa stuff that we are going to see, it's going to explode even more. These people are going to kill, they're going to slaughter each other. We're not going to have to lift a finger. We are not going to have to lift one finger.
And you're so right, because I'll be listening to you close. You said something about how useless their guns are going to be. And I had ran into a video that I was watching where their guns was useless. I said, she said that last week. I said, look at that. Because, you know, they always hung up on having all this arsenal. And eventually they'll take that very arsenal that they have and you know, and use it on themselves, because that beast has the thirst to kill. And if we are not around, they will kill themselves. Because that thing never gets satisfied. And like I told my children, and all of my children are adults now, I told them straight up, if I catch any of y'all marching and partaking in their affairs, I'll put my foot in your ass. Stay out of their way. Stay out of their way. We need to start telling them stay out of their way, because what they'll do is they want to appeal to us about their pain and plight, and that's the very thing that got us in trouble. We are some feeling people, and we have been subjugated so much we identify with people's pain. But no, what we're doing is helping them.
That's because, Queen, we have the nature of real humans. We have the nature of the Most High. We are dealing with beast. And what our people don't understand is the beast is not going to act like us. They're not going to sound like us. They're not going to behave like us. And you damn sure can't trust them. And unfortunately, some of our people still haven't gotten there. They still haven't gotten there. And unfortunately, some of them are going to go down with the beast because they have not learned to separate themselves. It's not only about a physical separation. We have to spiritually disconnect ourselves from them.
And I've been talking about that a lot. And I was saying that you see, I know you've seen it. It was just a little teeny thing that happened. But it just gave us an example of us working collectively together. That situation that happened a couple of days with Mr. Superboy, he's had a troll that's been bothering him for about 6 years.
I saw that.
And I just happened to get online because this is what I noticed. Since I don't work anymore, I will get up super early or stay up late. And that's when people are doing a dirt. And I'd be watching a lot of our channels just to see what's going on and stuff. And so he had said what he had to say. And this troll, this guy that's been bothering him, that's the same guy that hacked me and Cheetah Baby got us the same day. So I look on Black Junction and I see his channel, and the wallpaper in the back is a bunch of white men having sex, and then the avatar is like that. And I mean, I got heated because I'm still pissed what he did to me 2 years ago, and stuff. So what I like about Black Junction, they were so swift with it. So I said, where I report? So I reported him and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make a video. I said, all this, some people are afraid to do things because they don't want them to know that they're doing it. And it's like, the hell with that. So
and you know what, and also a good thing is on Black Junction, he added that block button.
Sure did.
Go to their page, their channel, and hit on that block button, they can no longer see your channel.
That's what I love. And you know what? And YouTube can do the same thing. They want these trolls to rule and reign. So what brought joy to my heart was when I made the video, folks was like, where is it? Where is it? They was ready.
Yeah.
And I tell you, within 20 minutes, he was shut down. And it goes to what I say, we got to be mindful, we got to be willful, we got to be deliberate, we got to be matter of fact about it. And that goes to that shift in consciousness that I talk about, that we got to do what we got to do to show even our own, to make an example of that particular person. What made me so disgusted, this is Black owned, Black operated, and they're trying to get more people to sponsor them and have ads there, and they in their beginning stages, and that shows you the danger of a coon, how they can mess up something. Say somebody see that and say, oh, this is what they into, and nobody don't want to be bothered, and they may tell some other people, you know what, don't have nothing to do with them. They condone all whatever. They don't have no morals, no values and stuff. And that was what got up under my skin. And the thing that pissed me off about this dude, he has never on YouTube, because he got a bunch of channels, put up some crap like that because he know what them white people will do to him, to them. But you have no problems going to Black people and pulling that type of mess.
Right.
It just really got under my skin. And I thank everybody for doing what they did, because that was swift. I mean, that was really swift.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Sister Shayla, you know, she had brought to my attention of hackers being over there. Sister Shayla, click on that link. I want you to come on the panel. Because she had forewarned me about some unusual activity that was going on over on Black Junction.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all ears. I didn't know about this. But I know one thing, we have to keep letting them know. And that's like the energy. It's like some people, they can't break away from YouTube. And when Mr. Superboy went over there, he did one video, Free at Last. It was like he didn't even realize how subjugated he was, because his attitude was, they're not gonna run us off of here. No, I'm gonna still use this, but eventually it's like making that final big step where I want to do the reverse, where I'm putting more energy into our stuff
Right.
and purging. It's a process of purging myself away from them, because we're bringing the customers and everything, and they don't respect the energy that we put it in and everything. They want them trolls to rule and reign.
Yeah, they do, because they have never done anything about the trolling on YouTube for years. And that's how you know they are content with those trolls being there.
It's useless to even report it. They don't do nothing. I get called nigga, cunt, and I know you get called the same thing, racist, and they and it's like we so immune to it, nigga, 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 nigga. It's like, okay, that's all you got left?
Yeah, right.
Wow. Oh, I just wanted to let you know that link, sometimes when you put it in the thread, for some reason it don't work. That's why that's why I was saying to email it to me. That's the second time that happened. I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know. You know, I can't be surprised by anything. Oh, stay here. I want to ask you something. What do you think about this bullshit that Trump talking about he would have ran in the school unarmed?
Oh Lord. Trump is so delusional. Trump just talking mess. Trump ain't about to do squat. I was sitting there looking at how for the last 2 weeks these folks been down his throat, and I was looking at and it pissed me off when I was looking at it too. He sits there with his arms crossed. He remind me of a 4-year-old. And one white guy even said to him, do less of Twitter. And I said, all this is a dog and pony show. Trump don't know what to do about this situation. He just throwing anything out there. And with these white folks getting ready to find out, they're going to find out that their government don't give a damn about them getting killed in the street and stuff. And it's just ironic. They sitting up here hollering and they ain't even begin. This is the part that gets me. They ain't even begin to feel. And the amazing thing is, to me, is we have been, show you how our Father is, we all individually have been selected to see the beginning of their impending doom. It's some amazing times we in. Oh, yeah. Shayla, she gonna have to get it on she gonna have to email it to you. Yeah, it comes up with an error. She emailed it to you, Shayla.
All right.
And you can get in.
1 second.
That's crazy how them links be not working and then work.
I don't know why, you know, that's so messed up. But yeah, I said as soon as he said that on TV, I said Trump is full of shit.
He sure is. He ain't about to do
draft
is just like those cops
to say nothing.
He's just like them cops, because they showed their true nature again. When they heard that shooting, they found out later was 4 of them. They hid. They hid behind the cars and everything. They try to act like they Billy bad, but when it's really actually happening, their true nature come out.
Yeah, it does. It does. And the thing that makes me laugh, you know, this is the same man that screamed bone spur every time they were trying to draft his ass.
Yes.
But now he would run into a building unarmed. Get out of here.
Right. He Trump ain't nothing but a big coward, and like you said, he don't do nothing. And I was and it's some major stuff that's getting ready to happen. Now his son-in-law didn't get the clearance, and it seemed like his daughter ain't getting the clearance. And I noticed he depends more on them two opposed to his sons. And he don't read them briefings that they give him every morning. And they know that his daughter and his son-in-law know his issue. And he's a man that's very inadequate. Like I said, if you put a person on a platform long enough, things will come out about their behavior. That's why I knew what was going to happen to that damn sheriff. Now I'll talk about that later. And he heavily depends on them, and it's going to be awkward because they're not getting these security clearances. They're able to cover up his mess, up his mess. And if you bring somebody in that's working for him, they're not going to treat it the same way his unquote family is dealing with them. So he heavily depends on his daughter and his son-in-law, and it's like, okay, how these dynamics is going to work.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's gonna make him feel weak.
And they said Trump don't like to read, and Ivanka, and the people around him do all of the reading. I guess they read things to him. So without them being around, yeah, his ass gonna be lost for real. Trump ain't about to read nothing.
Yeah, because like he said in an interview, he said he get his foreign policy experience by watching TV. I said, ooh, between him and Sarah Palin, damn,
Right.
damn. I thought George Bush was dumb. Bush number 2. I mean, literally, Trump is a laughing stock. He's being uninvited. Other countries don't want him because they say by the 3rd day, when he's in other countries, he start cutting up. He don't have what I call no tact and diplomacy. He don't know how to posture himself. He just, he's tacky. Like I said, he's the true definition of a nigga.
Yeah.
He definitely is.
Absolutely. And it's not going to get better for him. I can see this man is really going to take one hell of a judgment this year. He just is. There was something else I wanted to ask you about that was in the news. Yeah. Trump and his administration is getting ready to do an opioid summit.
I didn't hear about that.
And
are you serious?
Out of here.
Like you said, they're not gonna do nothing. So what's the purpose of doing it?
He's
playing with people.
And he's supposed to have some summit. It's supposed to be 200 participants all across the nation of people that lost a child to opioids, all going to this summit.
Wow. You know what? Because we got all different type of generations here. And Lisa, do you remember back in the 70s? You remember the housewife pill? And it was 2 different types.
Black beauties, right?
Yeah, you can call them black beauties or bennies.
Yes.
And Valium. Now the white woman would take the bennies for weight loss, and it ain't nothing more than speed, and you just be going, and then to calm her butt down, because she's like, oh, I feel faint, and then she would have Valium. So they would take one to have you up, one to have you down. I'm telling you something I know, and I know you know it. They not going to take them opioids away. These white folks will go crazy. They'll go crazy. And yeah, a lot of y'all know that I live in chronic pain. And I've been living in chronic pain since I've been 13. And I finally got a new doctor. They was giving me 60 pills to last for the whole month. And stuff like that. I also do use cannabis because you got to use something alternative too. So I got a new doctor, and last week he gave me 120 pain pills. And me and my husband was in utter shock. And what they did was, when I went to the pharmacy, they cross-checked. It was like they were scratching their head. And my husband, he don't play. Amari don't play. He said, get your ass in there and feel that shit. We've been coming here for over 20 years. Stop scrutinizing it and stuff. And I didn't even know they gave. I was even shocked. I was like, they can give you that many pills? Because I'm so used to getting 60.
When I had surgery back in 2006. And at that time, I was still working in corporate America. And there was a white woman in my group that had a different type of surgery around the same time. When I came back, I kid you not, I had a little teeny amber bottle with a 2-week supply of opioids.
That's what I'm used to.
She reached in her purse and she pulled out the biggest bottle I have ever seen in my life, filled with opioids. The doctor, I kid you not, True Royal, gave her a 90-day supply.
Yep. Now, what they did was
Thing.
the way
He had
the way he
oxycodone.
the way he wrote the prescription up, because we read it real good. He gave me 120 pills. He said that was a 30-day supply. Me and my husband is looking at it like that's like for a few months supply, because we don't take them like that. And he's like,
Right.
and it's like, did he get that wrong? For just 30 days, 120 pills in 30 days
Uh-huh.
and stuff. And um and I notice when we go to the pharmacy, it's always all this checking. And my husband, and this is another thing that we have to start doing. So my husband has some major dental work done. He's been getting all this dental work done, and stuff. And so they gave him a prescription of antibiotics, and they gave him 20 pills. Now, mind you, major dental work. I'm gonna have to just use it. This bitch calling the dentist, want to make sure it's right, and all this stuff like that. And my husband said she pulled that again. What he did was he followed through. He filed a report against her tail and everything. He filed one against the manager and everything like that. And the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is we don't like being bothered. And what we do is we'll get disrespected and we won't follow through on stuff. We have to follow through. We have to use the very system that they set up for them and stuff. It's like I went to the Cheesecake Factory and they did not serve us properly. And my father was very big on us going to very nice restaurants. And so what I did is I followed through. I did the complaint online. I called them and everything. They send me 2 gift cards for $75 and stuff. That's keeping your foot on their tail. We got to stop this. Well, just walk away, follow through.
Yeah.
Hold their feet to the fire. Now, like I said, we may not win all the battles, but I can already tell subconsciously we have already won the war. That's why they are taking those opiates so much, because they cannot deal with reality. So they rather go out in a blaze of glory. That's basically what's going on. I said, look at them.
In the Bible, the Most High told us they will wish for death, but it won't come.
I know that was incredible when you said that they'll be agonizing that much that they want to go out. They want to go out, but they want us to deal with reality all the time. It's like they can't take their own medicine. And it's like, and it's like this. We don't really have to do anything, like you said, but stay out of their way and let them just deal with themselves and stuff. And the ones that do that, we can't save them all, and they're gonna go exactly where they're gonna go. I stay out of their way. I sat down with my youngest son is still at home. He's 21. And but if you see him, you would think he's 15 because he looks so young. And I sit and have deep conversations. And I told him, I said, when you engage in them, I said, let the enemy speak first. Then you know how to engage that conversation and stuff. And he's really not a talker anyway. And I said, that'll give you a mindset. And we have a tendency to want to speak quickly first. And they have to speak to me first. I speak to them very little. I take care of my business with them and keep it moving. I don't give them my energy, and they'll try to have small talk with you. No, there is no small talk. No, not at all. No.
See, what we're looking at, and I was also explaining to my son, I said, all of their unruly behavior and all of their public rantings that we saw, during Trump's campaign and even up until now, I said, what you're seeing is their fear.
Yeah.
They know they're losing everything.
That's why they've been crying on TV.
Yes. And they feel it, their spirits. The Most High is making their spirits feel it. They can't escape feeling a sense of loss. They can't escape that feeling because he's put that spirit on them, whether they like it or not.
And what gets me about them, in their world, it's all about lies and delusions. I still even psychically can't fully understand it. We all in the house, just your immediate family.
Mhm.
You lying, all your relatives lying, all your friends lying, everybody just on a lie. I said, do they ever get real with self? Do
Mm-mm.
they ever get real? And then they want us to go along and get along with these lies and stuff like that. And we're dealing with reality. That's what we're looking at, this breaking down. Because I'm astounded. I'm like, what are you crying for? You ain't even begin to go through anything at all.
Yeah.
And then I'm pointing out the power that we have for being chosen. Just our words alone is bothering them. Just the title.
About 2 years ago, I was listening to this white man's video online, and I don't see it on there anymore. I would have definitely showed it. He said he knew who we were. And he said, white people, he said, I'm not going to lie to you. He said, white people are weak.
Mm-hmm.
He said the slavery that black men and women in this country endured, he said, we can't endure that.
Mm-hmm.
We can't endure it.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, look, if we knew we had to go through that, you're going to see a whole lot of people committing suicide.
Mm-hmm. They'll be doing like in the 1920s, jumping out of damn windows and stuff because they can't take it. It's like the kind of work me and my husband used to do. They mess with my husband a lot. He was an iron worker, and that's a pretty prestigious position to have in the world of construction.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband just don't have no bend in him. Amari not gonna bend. And he would come home and he'll say, I'm laid off. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And we go on by something else. That white woman will fall apart. What's gonna happen? What we gonna do? And all this type of stuff like that. And then he'll sit up and watch. I call them kill, murder, die shows because I don't really watch TV.
Uh-huh.
And one day I said, you know what? I said, all these programs that you're watching is nothing more than white on white crime. And he looked at me and he said, my job is to study the beast. And he said, they so weak when they see no way out, they start looking at their relatives, killing them off for the insurance money and all of that. That they just how they get out. He said a white guy pushed his wife and son off the cliff, got that insurance money. When it ran out, he goes to his buddy and he wants to plot and kill his parents, and it don't even phase them.
No, it don't.
Mm-mm.
No, it don't. They
Mm-mm.
do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see them do that a hell of a lot more than you will see black people. I
Mhm.
think out of all the time I've been on this earth, I might have saw 2 black people plot to kill their spouse, but all the rest of them have been white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the rest
And
of
it centers around money. It centers around money. And so back to what I was saying about what I'm noticing with them messing with us on YouTube and
Mhm.
stuff, we are in that age of exposure and behavior is getting exposed. I can't keep up. That's why people have to realize, even though we have these channels, I'm trying to go to other channels to find out what's going on and stuff like that. And it's like, damn, when I said the age of exposure, damn. So now they're being exposed for their behavior. So the next game they want to play is what we're looking at. That wasn't real, or they'll say this. Well, you don't know what happened before the tape got cut on. Stop with all of that shit. You see your hand in the damn cookie jar. You're busted.
That's
Stop insulting our intelligence.
Exactly. That's why I've been telling our people not to join in when they start talking fake news. Oh, that's fake news. You notice anytime they commit a crime, they always come back with that fake news. It's fake. It didn't happen. But whenever a black person do something wrong, you notice how they never talk about shit being fake. It's real. It's only fake when they do it. And that's why I've been trying to tell our people, don't join in that conversation talking about shit is fake. Especially when they committed the crime.
Yes. Yes. And they're gonna use us. They're gonna keep doing the same repetitive thing. They are a non-progressive group of people, and they're slowly starting to see it's not working. Then I notice overseas in the European countries, they are somewhat accepting the doom.
Yeah.
But this country gonna be the last holdout, the last holdout. And it takes me back to Pharaoh. They have that same type of mentality about Pharaoh, about these curses coming down and stuff. And somebody even sent me some information, and they said the locusts has already showed up in the European countries. And I'm like, what? And it's so how I look at stuff now. I look at it, I said, this is biblical. I'm
Oh,
looking at masses,
listen,
amounts of
I gotta
people.
show you something. You just brought something to my mind. Hold on one second. I'm gonna explain this to you. Hold on. I'm gonna show this to you because it is something that our people used back in biblical times. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I want you to see this, True Royal.
Okay. Do you want me to go to the back screen, or are you going to show it to everyone?
I'm going to show it to everyone, but I'm going to explain this to you because it goes over colors, and I know you are really into the royal colors and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to see this. Let's see if I can get to this. Send to everyone.
Look at all them windows. That's ridiculous.
I know, right? All right. Can everybody see my screen? Or you still got the multiple windows?
I don't see the windows. Let me be quiet, because if I keep speaking, we may not be able to see what you need to see.
Okay. Now, back during biblical times, our people used to dye their clothes, but with natural ways of doing it. These snails that you see that are blue, they used to get dye, blue and purple dye.
I know about this.
Snail. Do you see this snail in this white man's hand? Okay. Only our royal people would wear these colors from these snails. Now, you may say, well, what's so big about the snail? These snails disappeared for 2,000 years.
Wow.
They're just reappearing now.
Amazing.
And this is what our people use to dye their clothes.
And I did read about that.
And it's blue and it's purple.
But I didn't know about the blue.
Yeah.
I knew about the purple.
Yeah. Now, look, this is look at this purple that was done with the marine snails. See how this purple right here was dyed using marine snails.
Amazing.
And the blue was considered a color that was worn by the royals. And they would just take this blue dye the fabric blue. And somebody like King Solomon, King David, King Herod, they would be the ones wearing this color. It was,
and it's hard, and it was hard to obtain that because of how they had to produce it too. What I was reading, so it was a rarity to even be able to wear the royal colors. Yes.
And these snails reappeared on the shores of Israel after
more messages. That's like with the firmament. Like when you were showing us the firmament, I studied it, and God it's like God is dropping lugs. Just drop a little, because I did some deep studying last night, and it's just astounded. They can't change the composition of that firmament or anything. It's truly amazing.
Yeah. And this snail that they thought was completely extinct, all of a sudden across the shores of Israel, not anywhere else in the world, y'all, just Israel.
Amazing.
1,000 years later, they reappeared.
Truly amazing.
And nobody could find these things even in the ocean. They even looked for them for a while and gave up. And they have resurfaced. They have reappeared. And this is how our people used to dye clothes.
Amazing.
How it was done. You can see some, like this one is more of like a red. And you can find all these different snails that would give off sort of like a dye.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's sort of like a saliva type thing for them. And it's different colors depending on the snail.
Mm-hmm.
But our people
Amazing.
didn't use anything artificial to dye their clothes. They always used to dye with
They didn't have nothing artificial to use, because I was reading that we would wear the finest linen, and it was even laced in gold, laced in gold. And this is the thing that I keep seeing repeatedly, because I seen some people arguing the other day about, well, at least we didn't come from caves, because they're talking about mud huts.
Right.
We did not come from mud huts. We came out of palaces and castles and stuff.
Okay.
And we've been all able to show that.
And look at the videos that I've been putting out, my biblical videos. Do you see any mud huts in those videos?
Not at all. My
Those
husband
structures
let
have
us
been
know.
on, some of those structures that I'm showing you have been on the earth for 6,000 years.
Amazing.
You don't see a mud hut in any of those slides.
Mm-hmm. My husband explained it to me. We were watching a nature program a few years ago, and he just jumped up and he just said, he threw his hands up. He said, we didn't come from that. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, when we were infiltrated, some of us got away. And when we got away, he said we put together these huts because we weren't going to stay in place for long. And that's how that happened. And he said also what happened is that's when we start developing these weird, unusual customs, because a group of us would, go hide from the enemy. And then we started coming up with all this old crazy stuff like that. And it made me not like nature programs no more. And I said, let me look into this much, much deeper. But that's where we are in. It's important for us to debunk this stuff, that we didn't come from this. And then another thing that I found on a fluke, okay, back to that Black Panther movie, the enemy will say this is a myth. Well, that's what I love about Hebrew Israelites, that they not just relying just on one book of the Bible. They trying their best to read all the books. And I put the video on Black Junction. A brother put the real true story of Black Panther, and he talks, and I know you would know way better than I. He was talking about this garment that Adam had, and then how it was passed down from generations. And when you would put on this garment, it would give you superhuman strength and everything. And I was like, wow.
Well, we are not even living at our full capacity, because during the punishment, the Most High took many of our gifts away. But we still have more gifts physically than any of these, these cave people. And they know it. Believe me, they know what your abilities are. That's why they're so jealous of us. They know that you have things and abilities that they don't have. Now, when you read what's going to happen in the next life, once we get out of this Gentile world, number one, remember the Most High said we can't go into the kingdom with these bodies. And that's because we have taken in all these toxins and things that we never should have had in the first place. We're getting new bodies.
Amazing.
We're all getting new bodies. Number two, we are getting white robes. Now, he said the white robes that we get, they never get dirty. They never have to be washed.
Amazing.
They are going to, if somebody threw dirt on you, the dirt ain't even going to stick on the garments that he's going to give us. It's going to be so amazing. And the new kingdom that's coming is going to be what you can't even begin to imagine. America is going to look like a dump compared to what we have to come. Yeah.
I was reading that people's dreams will be more vivid. And I was telling my husband, I said, really pay close attention to what children are saying, real young children, because they're the least corrupted. And the reason why I was saying that to him, I was an unusual child. I would sit up and tell people what I would see and what I would hear. And thank God, God put me in a family that they didn't think I was out of my mind and stuff like that. And I would say stuff. And like I was telling the royal family that I had a heavy spiritual experience 2 years ago, and our Father told me. Now I don't hear no words and all that crap like that.
Mhm.
And that's something that I keep putting out there to folks, that people will have these spiritual experiences and they want to act like they mysterious and all of this. And I keep
They're
reinforcing
they're
we're all
Listen,
empathic.
let
We're
me
all
tell you
empathic.
something. Let me tell you something. Remember, when the Most High spoke to Moses,
Mm-hmm.
when he spoke to Abraham, he
Mm-hmm.
did it exclusively with them. And remember, he said the rest of us, he would come to us in our dreams.
Wait, let me tell you what happened,
Come
Lisa.
and communicate with us through our dreams.
It's the most profound thing because I talk about it almost every day.
It is real.
It's very real. When
Yes.
our Father told me, he said I would always see the number 17. So I told my husband this. My mother had me when she was 17. She died on May 17th. My husband's birthday is on the 17th. I got hurt at work at the age of 17, and I can go on and on. I didn't pay attention to no numbers. I wasn't tripping off the
Funny. You
number.
want to hear
And,
something funny that you bringing up 17? My mother married my father at 17.
amazing.
And my brother's birthday is August 17th.
Mm-hmm. And so what my girlfriend told me was, she said, when you having these experiences, say if a butterfly or a bug or something come to you, she said, look it up biblically. Don't look up this mess that these white folks write, and it'll give you the messages that you want. And the 17 mean you have overcame the victory. And I told everyone, I said, he told me that. Now all I hear is people saying 17. Trayvon Martin got killed at 17. 17 people got killed. And the one more thing I wanted to add to this that's still so profound to me, I had broke my ankle 2 years ago. And when I was going through what I was going through, and our Father literally physically picked me up before he even touched me, my ankle instantly healed. It frightened me because I
Yeah.
almost grabbed it. And so after all that stuff went through, and I went to see my girlfriend. I have a girlfriend, y'all like twins. Y'all almost look just alike. And when I went and seen her, her name is Catherine, all around the edges of my hair was pure silver. And my girlfriend said, "What happened?" I said, "Catherine, I literally physically was touched by our Father."
Mhm.
Touched.
You
And
remember? Do you remember when Moses went on the mountaintop and he came back and his hair was all white?
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm.
those things really do happen.
It really do.
Something, I think the most profound dream I had was one point in time in my life, I was piecing together my family history and I was doing my family tree. And I think it was just on my mind so much. I had this dream and it was so weird. Across from me, now, this is why I'm big on cats and lioness and
I know what you about to say.
stuff. Now, this is why I'm big on this. I had this dream, and this probably was, I would say, like around 2011, 2012. And in this dream, I was standing in front of this river. A little ways from me were two female lionesses. And this was almost like, it was so vivid. It was like I was really there. It was two lionesses, and they were totally unfazed that I was there. They didn't even move. In fact, they crouched down to drink this water in the river. Well, across from me were these people dressed like slaves. And I was like, who are those people? And one of the men, he was in these coveralls, no shirt on, just the coverall, kind of raggedy looking.
Mm-hmm.
And his hand was cut. And he was walking to me. And he reached out with the hand with the cut on it. Now, you know, blood, according to the Bible, is a living thing.
Yes.
We are never to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't touch his hand, but I grabbed his forearm when he reached out for me. And the blood on his hand disappeared.
Amazing.
And all of a sudden, I got up and I turned around to leave. And then I turned back real fast and everything was gone. The lionesses were gone. The slaves that I saw, they were gone. Everything was gone. And I was standing out there by myself.
Wow.
And one of my friends was trying to interpret it for me. She said, that was probably your people.
Mm-hmm.
Those are probably your ancestors from the past that
And
you
then your
saw.
cat, and those cats are, because I was reading that cats are they protect us. They go in and out of different worlds, because I have 3, and if you look at those Egyptian hieroglyphs, that's all you see is cats. And
Right.
they even, and in some of those pyramids, they even had mummies. They would find hundreds of cats and
Right. And
and
by the way,
everything.
family, and always keep this in mind. We are never to touch blood, and we're never to touch any type of fat. Like we can't eat fat. And we're
Oh,
not allowed
okay.
to eat, and Hebrews are not allowed to eat blood, and we're not allowed to eat fat. It is viewed as an abomination.
Wow. That's the one thing that I really appreciate, learning who I am, because it was the subs that told me on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, um Truthfully Honest, she has her own channel, and she's a
Yeah.
Hebrew Israelite, and she was saying, well, the reason why I came to your channel, because I thought you were one. And she was tripping off of that, my avatar. And I think y'all know the story about the avatar. That was my father's. And
Uh-huh.
my father, in fact, I found my father's postcard online, and my
Okay.
father had a store called, a candle shop in Oakland called Elohim Circle Candle Shop. So I asked my father one day, I said, where did you get that? How did you make that up? How do you come about that? And he said he would always see it. My father was very deep and spiritual, and he said he would always see it. So to make a long story short, um, when my father, both of my parents, when they died, I got nothing of theirs. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it was like I wanted stuff that, like toys and that they had when they was kids. I'm the one of those people. I don't give a damn about money. I have money,
Mm-hmm.
and thank goodness my father and my aunt wrote a book. It's a book that I'm trying to get published. It's a little small one, just for nutritional health for children. And so this shows you why we really need to use our people. So there's a girl named Renee, and she does graphic designing. So I had sent her this avatar here, or somebody says it's my family crest, and I was explaining to her how it looked, that I remember it, because my dad never spared an expense. Tears almost came to my eye. That girl did it right the first time. Now I could have easily trotted my tail down the hill to a printing shop where some white folks run, and I said, no, I want our energy around it and stuff. I wanted our energy, and she did it right. That's why um um I stopped doing everything with the shirts. And check this out, what happened with the shirts. The shirts are being made as I speak, and it's a brother that I have bought shirts from, and he has his own printing company. So the day he was going to make the shirts, his granddaughter was born. And then the baby ended up sick, because I talked to him last night, and the baby didn't have a bowel movement for over a week. And he was telling, I said, don't even trip about it. But sometimes the enemy will make things so convenient. And so I said, no, I want our energy around it. If I'm talking this to the best of my ability, because you can't do it 100%, patronize our own. So me and him have became business partners, because I'm saying this is just too convenient. I'm gonna have to patronize this guy, because he has done done things with me before. But I tell you something deep. The day that my father passed, he had came and picked me and my husband up to go to lunch. Dad, I always loved to go to restaurants. And my dad was moving so slow that day, and he was reminding me of my grandmother. And I said, wow, he's moving like her. And he was just struggling. And I had never seen my dad sick or like that at all. And so he asked me, it was at a Hofbräu, he asked me to fix his plate. And so after I fixed it, I sat down, and I was sitting across from him, and I looked at my father, and he had 3 lights over his head, like a rainbow. The first one was like a goldish, yellowish. The next one was like cloudy white, and the other one was transparent. I don't have colorful. And I said, oh, he getting ready to go. But that was one time I didn't say nothing to my husband. He died that day. Even though he was killed, he was sick, he died that day. I seen it coming. His wife pushed him down a flight of stairs.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It was just real real heavy. And I was saying to my husband, I said, black folks deal with all type of tragedy, all type of pain, and these white male terrorists, which is the biggest problem in America. We got to hear that they mama didn't breastfeed them, they went through this, they on medication, they, and I don't want to hear that stuff, because if we unleashed our pain, if we really unleashed our pain, oh, they wouldn't be able to contain. If all black folks just stood up right now and say, you know what, I've been through hell and back. Oh, they say we mean now, they're really seeing something. And that further confirms, because some aren't folks, because they go through so much, don't think they're chosen.
Right.
That going through what we have going through, we would have to be chosen, because I don't know nobody else that can endure this crap. It ain't easy. Then I'm learning, and I think the Hebrew Israelites, I'm learning being chosen is not easy, but our Father sees something so divine in us. He knew that we could endure it. We were selected. And I'm just, like I said, again, I'm honored, and me and my husband are excited to learn more about ourselves and to see the beginnings of this. Because I got to the point thinking, damn, is they going to always keep getting away with this? This is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
And how blatant they is, and stuff. And you're looking at these fiascos up in DC, and I've been keeping up with the Paul Manafort and this other dude, Rick Gates, and other people they bringing in. And with the Paul Manafort situation, this man was wealthy. He had 15 bank accounts, property everywhere.
Yeah.
In their nature, he wanted one last hoorah. And my husband said, you notice them folks that's working around Trump, just being around them, being around his energy is ruining careers, just ruining them left and right.
Oh,
And
yeah. How many people are leaving the White House?
I can't keep up.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like every week somebody's running the hell out of there.
And it's abrupt. Did you notice how abrupt? No explanations or anything. It's like they running. That's like Amarosa. She better thank our Father above, her tail is up out of that energy and stuff. Because I know this is something that I want to say to us. Allow yourself to embrace your gifts. And we all are empathic. Some of us don't know it because we're always in a state of survival. And the reason why I'm saying this, before you enter a building or anything, take a few seconds to feel. If it don't feel right, get your tail up out of there. Get your tail up out of there. And also, I thank the folks that are taking these babies up out of these schools and trying their best to really make it work in homeschool. I'm hearing sisters and brothers, it's like they're teaching their children, and they still have to work. And so one person may say, okay, I can take your kids and we can do this and that. And me and my husband have even said to people that we know, because me and him retired, our house is so huge, we can homeschool about 20 kids. We can make it work. It ain't going to be fancy. And the beautiful part about it is the parents can set the curriculum. You know what your children are learning. That's another way we have to separate from the enemy, because all we're doing is gift wrapping these babies, sending them to the enemy, and then we have to deprogram them and stuff. And we got to stop. Another thing that we have to stop doing is thinking when we move in an unquote good neighborhood and our kids can go to an unquote good school, we have to be realistic and let our children know really about this system. I didn't grow up in the hood. I lived in very nice neighborhoods. I'm living in one right now, but I never, and I know you've heard my oldest son speak. He's very vocal like me. I let my children know. I wanted them to remember. I said, even though we living where we living, these people are beasts. I don't trust none of them. Don't go in their houses. Watch them, they steal, lock the car. I would tell them that kind of stuff like that. Because we get that caught up in our head. And what pisses me off, because we see it often, some young kid, like a young black boy, about, let's say 15, 16, he started hitting on some white girl and liking her. And one of them, on the Field Advice show, somebody beat the living crap out of him. And what I'm getting sick of is we're not teaching these children that this is dangerous, messing with these folks. It's
Yeah.
really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
That's our responsibility. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. It's too many of us still walking around naive, and you can see it in the reaction when things happen. And are people, I can't believe people are still like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And I don't get it, because you think you have arrived because you can move in the, and get a decent house and all this type of stuff. You know what happened? There was a time I used to live in this town in California it's right next door to Oakland. It's called Alameda. And it used to be it still is a retirement community. And they used to have an army base there. And the town is so small, it only had 2 high schools. All 4 of my children was introduced to drugs by white kids. They came home and told me, because I left the doors open, because I wanted to hear them. So I said it's safe to disagree, and I wanted to hear what's going on. And they all told me. They said them kids would be in the classroom nodding, and them teachers would play dumb.
Yeah. You know
like
what?
They don't see it.
That happened to me in class. I used to be a white girl that sat behind me, and she was always high, and she'd be like, "Oh, I love being stoned,"
What grade was you in when you were introduced to that?
I was probably in the 8th grade. And
wow.
then we were in science class, and one day she leaned forward and she had in her hand a Quaalude. She was like, "Here, Lisa, have a Quaalude." I was like, "I'm not taking that. Get the hell out of here."
That's one thing I was taught. I used to hear my mother and them say, "Don't ever get high with white folks. They like using hardcore stuff. They subject to drop pills in your drink, lace they weed with some mushrooms, and you start to hallucinate and all of that. They like using hardcore stuff." And my ex-husband, he went to his family is Seventh-day Adventist, and he went to a boarding school in Santa Rosa, California, a boarding high school. And he said there was this white boy he used to smoke weed with, and this white boy would tear pages out of the Bible and roll his weed up. He said that's when he walked away from him. I said, "Ooh, these people, they sick. They sick."
They do that a lot in the military too.
What?
Yeah, especially when they're in battle, in war, and they want to get high, they use the Bible, because they said the Bible paper, the consistency is thin, just like the paper that they roll their weed in.
That's scary to me, that you don't even question or second guess what you're doing, and they just do it. And it's like, whoa. When I really started learning about white folks, even though my father told me what he told me, when you really start learning about them is when you get out in that world and work. And I heard you say, and I was telling my husband about this, that you got a position and you had to train yourself. You had to come up with everything.
Yeah.
That happened to my oldest daughter. She was working for this company, and this company has something to do with the environment, like they going green. And it was a startup company, and she got the position. And the owner, all he wanted to do was ride his bike all over town. And my daughter told me, she said, "I have to set everything up. He don't know what he doing and everything." And me working in construction, I trained my superintendents, I trained my foremans and everything. And it's a trip. I remember I trained this one guy, and then a year later they made him a foreman, and he act like he knew every damn thing. He was so frustrated with me because I wouldn't do nothing that he said. One thing that I like about the world of construction, you can cuss people out, you can have a fist fight and not get fired. And oh yeah, I jumped on white men. I choked the hell out of one. He told me he was gonna get me fired. Oh, I was angry. I was the last job I worked on was the new Bay Bridge, because they finally took down a portion of that Bay Bridge, but they took it down on the Oakland side. The San Francisco side, I guess they retrofitted it or whatever. So this guy who he thought he was white, but really it was a hell of a mixture. He was half Italian, half Eskimo. And white people had accepted him, and he said, I'm tired of her attitude and I'm tired of her mouth, and I'm going to get her fired. And I was like, oh, okay. So every morning they assign you to where you got to go. And those Connex boxes that you see on the back of trucks, some of them are actually break rooms. They got lockers in there, benches, where you can eat, hookups that we would bring mini refrigerators and microwaves. So he telling us where we have to go. And so he's at his desk, and this type of desk it is, you don't sit down, you just stand up and write stuff. So he wasn't paying attention. Everybody had left, and it was just me and him. And so the outside doors are these metal doors that you see. You always see them on the back of the truck. Well, we had one more door, which was glass, which was glass and metal. So I pulled in the metal doors a little bit and the other door, so it looked like nobody was there. When he realized what was going on, I was on his neck. I choked the hell out of him and I said, listen to me, bitch. I said, if I don't eat and my babies don't eat, you don't eat. And I said, I'm like a bear that's hibernating and she has to protect her cub. Now, when I'm saying this, I'm so angry. You wouldn't believe how your adrenaline is when somebody pissed you off. And he was turning beet red. And I kept choking him. And every time he tried to say something, I was thinking I'm a python. Every time you take a breath, a python will go squeeze harder. And when I got finished with him, I said, now, if you go to the office and you tell what I did to you, I said, I'm going to go and file on your ass and say, you've been touching on my big yellow ass. And I said, I'm going to play the victim. He left me alone and stuff. Because it's good money here in California. It's hard to live. You can make good money here and they pay you every Friday. I got to eat. I'm putting kids through college. They crazy.
Yeah. I've been looking at those government contracts. It is incredible what they get paid in the construction world. You'll see why the white man will burn out in the sun and take that risk for that money.
Some of them have died on the jobs. They had a white girl that worked in Concord, California, and that's about maybe like about 45 minutes from Oakland. And we had a heat wave for 4 days. This was back in the early 90s, and she was new. And she was afraid, because she wanted to keep her job. And what she should have took her butt was go sit somewhere and cool off. She should have just left and went home, because I've done it before. She kept working. She died on the job. She couldn't take the heat. She couldn't take that heat and stuff like that. And you have to make an executive decision. You got to do your own thinking. You want your job so bad that you want to die. But I'm glad that you brought that up. My godfather, I'm
just responding to something I saw in there. Kathy, it's really not about doing the actual work when you do government contracts. You subcontract that work out. And let me tell you, road construction, I've been studying up on that.
I know it all.
Do you know if you get a crew of men to repair 1 mile on a highway right up front, that's $2 million. Right up front. And when they get the work done, you could add another $2 million on top of that, just for one stretch of mile on the highway.
And I want you to also look at this too, Lisa Cabrera. Another phase of it too is there is contracts just for safety where they do let me use I ain't gonna use the construction terms. Yeah, when they put the aero boards out and they put the cones out and stuff like that. Well, that's also contracted out too as well. Sometimes they'll just have companies that'll just do lane closures, and the companies don't want to even bother with it, because in California, you got to have those streets cleared by 3 p.m. If you don't have it cleared by 3 p.m., you get charged $1,000 an hour and stuff. And I'm gonna have to get with you behind the scenes, because that's my world. And my godfather, he's a bidder and an estimator. He's been in construction over 50 years, and he was working for a black owned operated electrical company in Oakland. They ended up getting a massive contract in San Diego at the school district to redo all of the electrical. And black folks in the world of construction, we might, like, I'm a certified welder, but I know how to pour concrete. I know how to do a lot of stuff. The only thing that I'm horrible at is being a carpenter. So they ended up getting a contract to do all that stuff too, even the streets around them, because they had to tear up the streets to deal with the pipes. The contract was so big, they had to pick up and move and go down to San Diego, and they've been down there 7 years. And I can hook you up with him, because he knows all the ins and outs. He knows all the tricks. He knows how to estimate and stuff. And what a lot of the black contractors do, because we don't hardly get anything, we so happy that you are getting something. They'll just the sheer, because you black and they believe in the sisterhood and brotherhood, they will help you because they want you to get, fulfill that contract. And like you said, to sub it out. So.
Right. And the thing is, like I said, because I've been really studying it, and this is how a lot of white people sit on their ass and don't do nothing. They just get those government contracts, multi-million-dollar government contracts, sub that work out, and make millions off of it, and just sit around and do nothing. And you wonder why so many of them are doing nothing. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, you
haven't taken advantage of, but they have.
You don't have to break a nail. So what I'm gonna do is, because I'll send you my number behind the scenes. I can hook you up with my godfather, and I have a girlfriend who's a surveyor and a carpenter. She just retired, and in fact, she's trying to get me back to work because she's now in process of training at some of these schools. And I know another company, this brother that I used to work for, this will really put a smile on your face. His mother was the first black licensed electrician in the state of California in the 50s. Wow. And to show you their racism, they bought some property in a nice area of San Francisco. They still got it, and they put all their equipment there. And this brother was telling me back in the early 70s, these Irish dudes said that his mother stole a bunch of their equipment. They had helicopters over her business. SWAT came down there. It was just all a lie. And he said that they don't even want black folks to get what you call curb and gutter contracts. Those are the cheapest things, like making the curbs wheelchair accessible, fixing up the sidewalks, because there's still a lot of sidewalks that are not wheelchair accessible. And that's like the cheapest you can get. The cheapest thing you can, they don't want us to have nothing. And even though one thing that people don't know is affirmative action is still in place in the world of construction, because that's federal dollars. And they have to be in compliance. And these white folks, racism is so deep, they willing to take the fine because they don't want us to work. But I've been listening to you close, because you're seeing that construction is being affected, and it's a lot of opioid users there, because construction is the only place where a white boy who can't read or write, just got out of jail, that he can work there and make good money. And a lot of those white boys that work in the world of construction either just got out of jail or on their way to jail, and they come to work high. Yeah.
And the thing is, right now, and this is hot, y'all, that I'm about to drop to you. Puerto Rico is desperate
Mm-hmm.
to get people there to work on those roads, work on their electrical grids, work on buildings and everything.
Wow.
They are literally throwing these contracts at people. That's how desperate they are to get folks there to work on that island. Not only that, but the Virgin Islands.
Mm-hmm.
And one man, and I was just reading this, he landed a $300 million contract
Mm-hmm.
just to go down there and get the roads back in working order.
Mm-hmm.
And they are right now, they're saying the average contract for Puerto Rico is $40 million.
Wow. Wow. I tell you something to don't overlook also, Lisa. I told you about the curb and the gutter, and the other one that a lot of us overlook, and it's a lot of money in it.
Uh-huh.
And the term that they use is final phase cleanup.
Uh-huh.
It's like everything has been done, and the white man is so greedy, he wants to go run to the next job, and no one wants to do the final phase cleanup. And what the reason why they call it final phase, they have a punch list that they have to work off of, that there may be some, some stuff that wasn't done correctly, and you have to be in compliance and everything. Okay, when they working on that final phase, the job still got a lot of debris and
Right.
all that type of stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And those jobs you can do depending on the size of the job. You just have a bunch of dumpsters dropped off, and one dumpster is for wood, one is for metal, and then miscellaneous stuff. And all you got to do is load it up, and then all you have to do is rent a water truck and spray and wash the job down and everything. And this is the beautiful thing about final phase cleanup. The contract is still kind of open, because it works like this. Say there was an apartment complex built, and there were 50 built, and say 20 of them had some flaws, and you got to go in the dwelling. Every time they step in, and 9 times out of 10, when they step in, it's an in-house carpenter they have to fix something up, a cabinet or something like that. Every time they step in a unit, you, the contractor, can will charge them for going in that dwelling every single time. They can go in that same one for 10 days straight. And once the inspector write it off, then you can submit the cost of that. So like I said, it's an open-end contract, because you don't know the miscellaneous stuff that they have to deal with off of the punch list
Right.
until that's fulfilled. So
Well, let me just explain what I did. I went to sam.gov and I signed up as a merchant. That's how. And I did look, what I did was I didn't actually bid on anything. I just put myself on a few watch lists, lists for certain federal jobs for construction. Somebody saw me, a few people actually saw me on the watch list, and they dropped me some emails and say, if you can find me some contractors, I'll let you have this. And they said, we need tons of people.
I got some contractors for you. And these people don't play, they work.
And they said they need so much done. And the guy was saying to me, the average contract now, if you get in on this, is $40 million.
Wow. And all you got to do is get your percentage and keep it moving and go on to the next one.
That's right. And he said, and some of the contracts are so big, you can demand 5% and still get a huge chunk of money.
Oh, yeah. And you don't have to worry about payroll. You don't have to worry about getting bonded. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Once you get that contract and then you sub it out, you get yours off the top, and you keep it moving. You keep it moving and stuff.
So that's where, if you want to know how to get in, that's where you want to go to sam.gov, sign up
as a merchant.
Right, as a merchant, and you got to get a Dun & Bradstreet number. They're real big on that. And
what does that mean?
What it is, it's just like a merchant number.
Oh, okay.
For your business.
You said sam.gov?
Sam.gov. That's where you got to go. And you'll see contract work all around the globe through the federal government. All around. I mean, there's work in Saudi Arabia. I mean, there's work everywhere on this globe. that
Mhm.
the government does. And all they need are contractors to go even overseas and get this work done.
And you know what they'll do overseas? This is how these white boys be getting
I've
over.
even seen some of the contracts for like $3 billion
Oh, it's ridiculous.
go overseas to get work done. And if you got people willing to go and stay there until the work is done, then you got it made.
Let me tell you what they do overseas. What they'll do, how these white boys get over. What they'll do is they'll have them go overseas, and they can work there 90 days, tax-free money. Then they have to go back home for a month. And that's what they'll do. They'll go work for 90 days, they'll stay off a month, and they'll go back and forth, and they can make up to 100,000 tax-free.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let me show you sam.gov. Hold on. I'm going to show you the screen. Let me screen share with you, everybody, so you can see this. All right. But I didn't do anything. All I did was just put my name on a few of the jobs that I was interested in, and they came to me.
Amazing.
Because, you know, it was people that got contracts looking for subcontractors. And I guess they saw my name of my business on the list, and now I got people coming to me asking, can you find contractors and fulfill this and do that?
Amazing.
I mean, this is without me lifting a finger.
Yeah, I know a sister. You just made me think of something. I knew a sister. She still has a company too. She has one in Atlanta and one in Oakland. It's called Clay Construction. Oh, that sister was getting tons of contracts.
Yeah.
See, they'll run to the woman real quick.
Yeah, and they do. And you know what? And they also like to ask you too, is this a woman-owned firm? Because that's what we're looking for. We want to get more female contracts, contracts to more female business owners.
They'll be in compliance. That's why they're doing that. See, they'll be in compliance, and and they actually that helps. You're helping them once they're in compliance.
Now, this is sam.gov, and is exactly the way I'm saying it, sam.gov, and it's a portal for federal contracts. And these contracts are all around the globe, and it's all types of federal agency, the DOD, FEMA, all kinds of contracts here.
Amazing.
So you sign up, you want to do a create account, and you can put yourself in here as an individual with a business. I did the individual and just, set myself up with a business. I became an LLC.
Okay.
And
so you're saying in this particular site, you don't even have, because I have my contractor's license. You don't even have to have contractor's license. You could just put yourself down as a merchant.
That's right.
Wow.
So you want to sign yourself up, and then it's going to take you through a series of requirements, and the requirements are easy. You shouldn't be intimidated by the requirements. Now, they want you to be a business, a registered business, just like it says right here, registered business. They want you to have what's called a Dun & Bradstreet number. You get it almost as fast as you sign up for it.
Is there any costs?
No, it's free.
Wow. And
then they also want you to get an EIN number through the IRS, and you can get that online.
Yeah. Okay.
So once you have those things, you'll sign up for SAM. Once you sign up for SAM and you register your business with them, they automatically register you to other agencies.
Amazing.
So
you know what I'm thinking of as you're showing this? Because me and my husband, we've been contemplating getting into a business, and we have saved money and everything, and
you got experience. It'd be easy for you to do it.
Yeah, because what we would thought was, and I'm gonna talk to him when we get off of this. I'm gonna show him this. We were trying to get into the cannabis business, and these cockazoids are such greedy ass pigs that just to even be able to get into it, to have your license up here in the state of California, they want 20 grand off the top.
Right.
And they cost you out. That they make it so extraordinary, and it's like, damn, y'all don't want us to have nothing. They so greedy. And I mean, you got cannabis businesses popping up everywhere in the state of California, especially up here in this damn Bay Area.
Popping up here because the new governor that beat Christie out, he's pro cannabis. So right now, it's all kinds of things going on behind the scene about getting cannabis businesses running up here in New Jersey. You know, he said that's the first thing he wants to do is make marijuana legal in the state of New Jersey.
Because you know, like Sessions, you know, Jeff Sessions is all against it. And I had did a story about it, and this white guy was almost in glee. He like, you can do whatever you want, Sessions. And I knew what he was talking about. When it come to that money, them white folks get treacherous with each other, and you don't stop. They don't care who you is. You don't stop them trying to make their money. And I think it was in Oregon, the first day that they legalized cannabis, they made a little over, you know, the different places made in one day a little over $20 million the first day. They want that revenue. They want it. And so eventually it's a matter of time throughout the United States, all of them gonna be having gonna legalize cannabis.
Oh hell.
Because but the thing is, they wanna leave us out. So see, we have to watch certain things. If anybody is out there, they might want to be the person that grows it. I forget the name to use it, where they grow the cannabis and all this type of stuff, and then you go to the various cannabis stores, and hopefully they'll buy your product. Well, this is where we have to be careful about. People are getting land to grow to have these businesses, and they don't know about soil content. They don't know about irrigation and all of that. And these white folks will sabotage you on this, knowing that the very land that you have purchased might possibly, and it's a lot of this in the state of California, when they had all these when they had that horrendous earthquake, what was that, 1900 something? They had to bury a lot of stuff, and they had to bury a lot of batteries. And the issue that we are having in state of, and especially in the Bay Area, is they buried those batteries, and those batteries are still leaking acid, and it erodes the soil content, and they're not going to tell you. You have to request it. So if you are interested, you got to know about, because they do test the soil. You want those reports about the soil content. And then another thing, secure your mineral rights. If you buy any property, you don't know if it's water on that property. You don't know if it's oil or some type of mineral on that property, because if the government find out, what they're going to do is just take it from you, or literally they'll just use eminent domain and say, we getting ready to build on you, because it works for them. So these are the things. See, certain things they leave out for business. We think we doing some, I got some property, and the very property that you living on, you might have a gold mine right up under your feet and don't even realize it.
Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I'm bringing up a lot of the contracts is because we are moving into another season of hurricanes, of all kinds.
Wow, that quick?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that was fast.
So we're moving into the new season of disaster.
No, it seemed like we just had it a few months ago.
Right.
Wow.
Now, this is the time to jump in and get registered for what's to come.
Because the floodgates gonna hit. I see what you're talking about. You're doing it on the downtime.
Right. See, just like Puerto Rico is in a desperate state, right now they are so desperate to get that island built up. They don't care who they give these contracts to. They just want the bodies down there to get the work done. So this is the time. Do you know it was a Black woman, and she blew this? She never had a contract before in her life. FEMA gave this Black woman a $158 million contract.
Woo!
You know what her job was? To get freeze-dried food to Puerto Rico.
That's easy.
And she couldn't do it. They gave her, and this is the first time out, gave her this $158 million to get
I would love
30 million dinners, free.
I mean, what was that the one where you said she tried to hire some caterers and all that type of stuff? She didn't know what the hell she was doing at all.
Should have went to a manufacturer, and she should have went to several of them. She would have got the whole thing done. But that she got that on the first try, a 158.
You can't use no little lightweight caterers just doing little dinner parties and stuff.
Through FEMA. FEMA gave her that contract for that amount of money. First time out. First time out.
So was she
ever.
So was she supposed to do like 3 meals a day or just 1 meal a day?
30 million.
1 meal?
1 meal. 30 million.
Damn.
30 million of them. And all she had to do was get them shipped over to Puerto Rico. With all that money, she probably would not have had to pay no more out than about 20 to 30 million and would have been able to keep the rest.
She probably got greedy and was trying to figure out how she could keep as much of it as she can.
Yes.
And the thing that gets me, you started out with lint in your pocket, and then you get big-headed because you got the contract and you trying to think how to cut corners and stuff like that. I mean, if I would have, as big as the contract is, I would have been happy with a few $100,000.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I'm not,
my thing is, what I'm saying to you is, in times of disaster, it's a lot easier to get those contracts.
Yeah, and that's why they get away with all that stealing. I had did this story a couple of weeks ago. Old Bill Clinton, his old dusty ass, he looked like he's starting to get Parkinson's. He was over there in the Virgin Islands sniffing around. And they did some little news conference, and when they were in a room. The room was so small, and it was some brothers and sisters sitting there. You could tell they wasn't hearing nothing he had to say. They looking into the sky. But the brother that was standing there, he was some type of politician down there. You could tell he was a coon. He was kissing his ass. And I said, look at the vanity of the Clinton.
No, Sonny, he really got that contract. It was a big write-up about it.
I remember you doing a story on that.
I got that $158 million contract. This was one black woman down in Atlanta with a business. They wrote all about it.
See, I thought it was a white woman when you did it.
They did entrust her with that. And she fucked it up.
Wow. Woo! That's
what
sad.
I'm saying to all of you is, there will be more disasters. This is the time to get yourself registered. They are still building roads in Texas from all of the damage from Hurricane Harvey. And they are still trying to get people down in Texas right now.
This place is subject to get hit again.
Yes. And they get hit again, you get a contract again.
So would you tell me, because I don't know, because the neck of the woods I live up in, we don't deal with that type of weather. What months do hurricane season kicks in? How many months it lasts?
It starts in, I believe, from May to November.
Oh, that's a long time.
And what you got to do is get yourself signed up, because when I'm just telling you, there is a time when it's a little harder to get contracts. It's hard, but during a time of disaster, they are practically throwing them things at you.
Yeah, they not scrutinize everything. I hear where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. Yeah.
They don't scrutinize anything because they need people down there. They're having a hard time getting people to go down there because you're going to have to be in Puerto Rico for a while. And what a lot of them are doing, because I spoke to a few of the contractors. They go down there, they stay like for so many weeks, and then they come back to mainland America. And they just keep flying back and forth.
They rotate in and out.
Right. And like I said, there are people down there doing all kinds of work, buildings. They're working on commercial buildings. They're working on the roads. They're working on the electrical grid. And guess what? Hurricanes are coming again.
Yeah. Wow.
Guess what? They're going to need every time a hurricane goes whisking through there, they're going to need more contractors to come. So that means you may ultimately get multiple contracts in 1 year.
Well, you know that everything you're saying is making a lot of sense, because you know that story, we was all doing a story on it, where that a contractor, he was a brand new company. I think he had only had 2 jobs he ever did, and next thing you know, he over there in Puerto Rico, and what messed him up, he was running his mouth, and I mean, it was millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And what I was looking at was, I was like, damn, the hurricane wasn't even over with, and they was already over there.
Yeah.
Bunch of white boys had ran up over there. And what I was looking at, because I knew what I was looking at, the utility truck that he had, it looked like a spaceship. I said, ooh, they spent a lot of money on this truck.
And let me tell you something, you're talking the truth, because we had a Sandy hit New Jersey. After Sandy came through, we had all kinds of downed trees, damaged buildings, damaged homes. And I remember one day I was out, and it was this white guy, and he came up, he asked me something and I can't remember now. And I was like, and I listened to his accent, and I said, "Where are you from?" He was like, "Oh, we're from Iowa." You're here in New Jersey? You're from Iowa? He said, "Yeah." He said his contracting firm goes anywhere in the nation that a disaster hits in. And what they do is they clean up the trees off the road, any debris from buildings. They get all of that stuff off the road and off the sidewalks. And they go all his company works nationwide. They go anywhere where there's a disaster to do cleanup.
See, you know what? See, a lot of people, they don't think it's money into that cleanup, and some people think it's even beneath them to even get those type of contracts and stuff like that. But if the stuff ain't cleaned up and removed, you cannot even get the work done. So the person that's doing the cleanup is the most important person out there before they can execute anything.
That's what he said. He said, we just go anywhere in the U.S. where a disaster hit. And he was telling me they went down and cleaned up after Hurricane Andrew in Florida.
Amazing.
You know, and all those trailers that got damaged, the people that lived, they hauled all those trailers away. And they spent like 4 months down there just doing cleanup after the hurricane. And that's what we do.
Yeah, me and my husband was looking at the sheer disaster just in Texas alone, and we knew what we was looking at, and my husband said, wow. He said that cleaning up is endless. And he said, see, the importance of the cleanup also is, if they don't hurry up and start getting there, somebody just put it, sanitation becomes a big issue, and diseases start kicking in and stuff. And it's amazing that you found it, because they don't like us to even be a part of this. Remember when the Iraq war started? I had seen something on TV, and these people were calling themselves contract merchants, like you were talking about, and they were having these secret meetings at hotels and different places. And this white lady was so arrogant. She was going to go down there, and it happened, she was going to be the one distributing food to the military. And they said, well, aren't you afraid to go down there? You know, they you know, you're in a war zone. Oh, I don't have to worry about it. We have those $1,000 guards. You heard about those guards that were getting paid $1,000 a day? A lot of them guards, they got their butts killed out there and stuff. But what I was tripping off of is the arrogance of these people, how they're privy to get this stuff first, and just how they just, it's just how they just get the whole way they just get down. And then they want to sit up and holler that they're being discriminated against, and all these different things like that. And see, what's really going on is these contractors are having to come to terms with some things. The nepotism is real big in the world of construction. So you hire your buddy, you know he methed out of his damn brain. And I have literally seen it with my own eyes. A white boy get on some equipment and tore down a whole utility line, messed up a whole street. Now, they didn't fire him. They just sent him home for a few days without pay. Us, we get fired if we break a fingernail.
We don't have to do much to get fired. But no, let me just get something straight, because I'm reading what some of y'all are writing, and you're saying, oh, you need experience, you need this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Listen to me, y'all, because if you have that mindset, you're going to miss out on opportunity. All you need to do with you're a person with no experience, all you got to do is make sure you subcontract with somebody with a ton of experience. With a proven background. So you want to look at the background of the people that you subcontract to, because they're going to be ultimately doing the work. So they don't care whether you got the experience or not, but the people that you send, that's where they care. So
and that's not on you. You're not going, if they screw it up or whatever, you fulfilled your end. You fulfilled your end getting a contractor down there.
So don't get into, oh, well, if I don't have experience, they won't use me. That's not true. There are people with zero background, and I was researching this, zero background, that have landed multi-million-dollar contracts because they wrote in their proposal, I contract to ABC company, and they've done 50 jobs for the federal government. That's how they get their foot in the door. That's how you do it. So don't
be intimidated by that. Don't be
experience.
Don't be intimidated by that.
That's what you do. But all these women-owned businesses in construction are doing. Those women ain't going out there doing the work. They're subcontracting.
Yeah, and then they are double minority. These white women, and that's how they get over on it. And like I said, I know the world of construction. I can bring you up to speed quickly. I got into it at 19 years old, and I know a lot of people. Just this conversation we having, that's why they don't like us doing what we're doing now. We can get each other up to speed quickly, and we're able to retain and discern information real quick. Just what we talking about. So no, you don't have to. I didn't work with some doofus, dumb white boys. Kid you not, can't read at all, making all kind of money. And what they'll do, they'll hire somebody that can measure real good, that can read real good, and stuff like that. And I can tell they don't be knowing. And we be thinking, oh, they got all these obstacles and hurdles, and like they know every damn thing. Them white boys don't know every damn thing. That's why they depend on those Mexicans on the job, on these jobs. Well, see, what's going down with the opiate use, this is what I was getting ready to talk about. With the opiate use, like I said, the world of construction is big on nepotism. And so what this contractor is going to have to ask himself is, am I going to keep hiring these meth heads and I can't get my contracts fulfilled? And then the other thing, Mexicans are scared to death and they running back to their homeland. I seen it before Obama was still in office, and they was running back to their homeland. So they're going to be forced to have to hire the people around them.
That's right. That's right.
Stuff like that.
Their businesses not to go under. They're not going to have a choice but to hire people that they would normally not hire at all.
So I wonder how long their nepotism is going to continue to last and stuff, because at the end of the day, they still got to eat. Like my father taught me, he said that the reason why they hire their buddies and all this kind of stuff like that is how they feel about them. So think about this. You are a contractor. Your heart is in the right place. You want to hire your own, but they screwing up. This happened to me. Me and my first husband, we had a carpet cleaning service and we started getting commercial contracts. We had contracts with Blockbuster Video. We had it with before they closed out Good Guys and a bunch of people. And then we also got one contract where we did the final phase cleanup, where they had built these mini condos in Oakland. I kid you not. The job that we got where we had to do the final phase, we hired 6 Black people. And construction, you got to get your butt to work early. So we wanted them there at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. Lisa, do you know none of them Negroes showed up to work?
Get the hell out.
And back then I was still working, because even though we had the company going, my ex-husband ran it, but we had the kids and somebody had to keep working for the benefits, you know. We're you know, because or eventually you pay into it. So I said, I'm gonna stay on my job and keep working, and I'll help the way I can. So he called me panicking. I'm at work. He said, nobody showed up. I told him, I said, check this out. Go to Home Depot in Oakland, and it's gonna be 100 Mexicans out there, and you can get 6 of them real quick. And that's what he had to end up doing, or we would have lost that damn contract. And so we ended up hiring one sister, and there was other contractors out there, and the head contractor. And one day my ex-husband went to go check on another job. She asked the contractor, because she used their phone in the office. He shouldn't have never said yeah. She was just wearing the shit out. So one day my ex-husband caught her doing it, and he said, it's not good a look on the company. She out there screaming and hollering, F you nigga, blah, 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 and all this stuff like that, a screaming match. And I was like, wow. It was really a painful thing, because y'all know I'm real big on, I'm just interested in us. And we had to break on down and hire some Mexicans. So what my point with this story is, these white folks are going to have to start making these decisions too. You know, do you feel so deeply for this white boy that's working for your company, you're going to keep hiring his sorry ass, and he's subject to tear up the job, burn up the job, get people killed, or you just going to hire people that are qualified? You're going to have to take your feelings out of it. And that was really a deep reality check, even for us. And stuff. It was a very, and we paid those people good. We paid them good, real good and stuff. We I mean, just to do the cleanup, we was paying them $15 an hour just to do cleanup.
There you go.
Didn't show up. None.
Yeah. Yeah, those things happen. But yeah, so you know, that's what I want, you know, you all to know. Don't hesitate, even if you have no experience, because even FEMA, you know, they are looking for people that can get food and supplies to people. You know, I was looking at a contract when I first signed up. Someone got a FEMA contract to just get things like towels and blankets for the population in Puerto Rico, and it was a multi-million-dollar contract just to get.
You don't even think of. Wow.
That's all. You know, those are things you should be able to do, even in bulk. But
and what is your, and Lisa? So what is your actual background? The skills that you have?
Mine is strong in IT.
Yeah,
but
you can still use that. You can still use that somewhere, being a contractor or well, a merchant. Put it that way.
Yeah, you know, I was looking. They, you know, the federal government will hire you to buy their computers. I was looking at one. They were contract. They were looking for somebody to buy the federal government 500 computers. Wow. And the contract was $75,000. And you know damn well you can get 500 computers for well under $75,000.
Oh yeah, yeah. It shows you how these white folks are able to steal. It's a world you step into, and you're like, wow, I didn't know they was operating with that type, you know, that type of money. Because the job that I worked on, they had it up at the that big contract, because on that bridge it was hundreds of people working. you could go get petty cash. All you had to do is just go to the secretary and say, I need some money for the blah, blah, blah. And then they have a job number, and you could go to these different companies to get supply. They just ask for the job number and charge them later. And a lot of white boys would be stealing all type of equipment and stuff like that. And that's why you be seeing them with all that. They don't be buying all of that. And then also what they do is they give them gas cards, and they have to go to these gas stations where you just put the code in. There's no attendant there or anything. Them guys was using them cards to fill up they with their own personal vehicles and everything
Yeah.
and stuff. And so
And the government will spend tons of money. They spend it's insane amounts of money.
mhm,
They really do overspend on many of these projects. That's what I'm
they
trying
do. And see, this is what happens when you bid on these things.
Uh-huh.
Remember this. Say for instance, you're the actual contractor.
Mhm.
You got equipment and everything, and you bid on another job. So naturally, you're gonna have other supplies from that first job. No, what they do, they will throw it away because they're going to get more supplies, and that's part of the bidding, because you're going to bid in for supplies too as well. I cannot convey to you how many nails, boxes of nails, 50-pound boxes of nails that ain't even been opened that I'm throwing away. PVC pipe,
Yeah.
sheetrock,
Uh-huh.
and all that and stuff. It's ridiculous.
To answer your question, yes, you're going to have to register yourself as a business. I'm a registered business in New Jersey. So yes, you will have to register yourself as a business. And it's really easy to do. You can do the whole process online through your state, whatever state you're in. And then once you register yourself as a business, you want to make sure you get an EIN number. So yes, so the answer is yes. You do want to get that, Dolly.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying, once you get all of those necessary things in place, then it's a go for them, because
Yes.
they seeing what they need, and they say, okay, this person cool. Bam, here's the contract, and then you just sub it out.
Right. And then you know, in your proposal, because you have to do a proposal, you'll just write in there who you're going to be subcontracting to. That's all. I mean, you know, especially women and minority owned business, they know you're not going to physically be out there doing some of that.
And so with the proposal part, you can even look at different letters, and you might have to critique it a little bit. And for each one, you have a folder for it online and save it. That's like my daughter taught me that when she was um, getting ready to enter college. And sometimes she was trying to get different scholarships, and they have different requirements. So she would save everything, and sometimes she was able to use they maybe want you to do a little short essay, and she would tweak it a little bit and use the same one, because she said it was wearing her out and stuff. It gets easy after you do like the first 2 or 3. After a while, you'll see how easy this is. And really, what's really going on, the reason why they are making this shit so easy, because they always have them in mind. They never have us in mind, and they know how inadequate they people is, and they're gonna find some kind of way to make it real easy for them. And so we have to jump right in there and take full advantage of it too as well.
Now you get the EIN number through irs.gov. irs.gov. That's where you want to go, and you can get that right online.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you can either request to have the number mailed to your house or get it online through your email. If you do it through your email, you'll get it a lot faster.
So did you give yourself a name to your company?
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to give yourself a name, you know, whether you want to become an Inc. or LLC.
Uh-huh.
You have to determine, you know, how you want to register yourself.
So what I'm learning with the LLC, Well, we had a LLC
Uh-huh.
when we had the carpet cleaning service. It's all coming back now. What I would do is save all receipts for our grocery shopping,
Hmm.
going out to eat, buying my kids clothes, especially gas, and everything was through the company, So when I would have my taxes done, there was all my receipts, because that's what my tax lady told me. She said, I can write off the food that you eat. You got an LLC now. This is
Right.
all up under the umbrella of the company.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all you will need to do. And like I said, and you got to get what's called DUNS, which is the Dun and Bradstreet number.
See, that's something I never heard of, a DUNS.
It's real
Could
easy.
you explain that again, please?
Yeah, hold on. Let me show you the website, because I have a number. I have a registered number with them. Let me see. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh yeah, you're right about that, Kathy. Have your own business account set up too as well, separate from your personal.
All right, let me share my screen. Are you okay?
Mm, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen, y'all.
Where's Miss Roletta? What's her name? Your cat? She must be somewhere balled up sleep.
Oh, Loretta.
Mm-hmm.
No, she actually tried to get in here and I ignored her. So she's probably mad at me somewhere.
Don't be like my cat Shaka. Remember I did that live stream. Shaka took a dump in my office. Oh my goodness. I could have strangled that cat.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is the website for Duns and Bradstreet. Now, what you may ask, why do you have to register with this? The reason why is because whenever a company, let's say they write an acknowledgement about the job you did for them, okay, or they give like sort of like a testimonial of the job you did for them, they'll put it here. So when people pull up your Dun and Bradstreet number, they'll see, oh well, she did this job over in California.
Oh, so
She did
it's
this
like
job
it's like your resume, so to speak.
right. So you
Oh,
sign up for this. The number is absolutely free. Get a Dun's number. It's free. You don't pay nothing out of pocket. You just sign up and get your number. See right here, get your free Duns. You fill this in, you register, and they issue you a number.
so the Duns, once you get the Duns number, then you go back to the Sam's website
That
and you put
number in. During
and
your registration process, you put your Duns number in there.
so you put your Duns number in there. Then you also put an
NI number.
yeah, that number.
Mhm.
And do you also the name of your business, and also that what was that other one, that what type of business? It's a LLC.
Yeah, you can put in your LLC or your Inc., whatever you call your business.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll check off what it is. Like if it's a woman-owned business, you'll check it off. If it's minority business, you'll check it off. You'll
Yeah,
see
that works to your advantage. That
that.
really does.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You'll see that when you go through the application process.
So with the question I want to ask, so once you get the contract, it just automatically start putting your portfolio, so to speak, with Duns. You
Yeah,
don't have to physically do anything. It's just going to be there.
it's going to be there.
Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, thank you for this.
Mm-hmm.
Learn something every day.
Yeah. And the thing is, these are the things you want, because see, your federal government, when they issue you the contract, they're going to put all of that in under your Duns number.
Okay. I never heard of that. Wow.
Mhm.
A Duns number.
Yeah.
Well, that's something else to also study, so we can be I mean, you're giving us a great lesson, but the thing that I would suggest is also study it so you can be versed, and you are familiar with the website, you're comfortable around it, and everything. And I'll just let y'all know, because I'm learning this, but I know a lot of things about construction. Email me, and because there's a certain language that you can use. And then what I'll do with you, Lisa, because I'm gonna have to talk to you behind the scenes. I'm going to hook you up with people that don't shuck and jive.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna send you we gotta get past that and be honest. We got some of our folks out here to be playing. We don't have time to be playing.
You got that right.
No, the people I'm sending you to, they are still active.
Yeah.
Active.
The DUNS number is nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
It's good even in the
want to see
Virgin
you
Islands. It's good in Puerto Rico as well, because
Mm-hmm.
that's all part of the U.S. So, yes, the number is nationwide. It's going to be almost equivalent to your Social Security number, where people report, your credit, and if you paid off your credit card, that's equivalent to, that's what your Dun and Bradstreet number is.
Wow, these folks, I didn't realize that was it was that sheer amount of work. See, these are the things that they hide from us.
The thing is, once you accumulate a lot of work and it gets reported to your DUNS number, you'll be able to get like business loans real easy, or grants. You'll be able to get a lot of stuff real easy once you establish.
What I like about it, you don't have to because what they used to do is because this is new to me. What they used to do is they would get minority companies, and they would require the minority company to at least have a trailer on the job. Even though they're not doing it, they have subbed it out and put their little banner up there on that particular site and stuff. And
Puerto Rico, you know what they require, Queen, for Puerto Rico? They just want you to have a subcontractor that has equipment on the island.
Okay.
That's all they're requiring.
Wow.
And I
make it easy for their tails.
found 2 subcontractors that have equipment on the island of Puerto Rico. So that's all they're requiring, people that already got equipment on the island that can do the work.
Yeah, and then you know what? Another thing, you do have to check behind those people too as well, and see what you want them to submit the resume to you so you can go over it too.
Right. Now I got 2 that have pretty extensive experience in repairing roads in Puerto Rico. So yeah, you definitely want to do your homework.
Wow, amazing.
So you want to do your homework, and you want to make sure whatever guidelines they have in place, that you meet them as closely as possible.
Okay.
So once you get in, you'll be able to do a search. Hold on. Let me pull up my SAM, and I'll show you how you can go in and do a search for work. Hold on. I'll show you. Let me share my screen again. I should have just.
Oh, there's Loretta.
Yeah, she made it in. Okay, there we go. Yeah, Loretta. Yeah, you're all that in a bag of chips. Now get out of here.
My feelings hurt.
Okay, so
I guess Shayla couldn't make it in. I guess she was having problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with her, because maybe on my next live stream I want her to come on, because she has so many good things to say.
I know. I always watch her videos over on Black Junction. She be having some good ones, because what I like about Black Junction, there's some videos that we don't even put on YouTube and stuff. And I love that we can go over there, because you put that video up of them white men and those brothers that was naked. Oh, that picture was hilarious. They were so proud. I couldn't believe those white guys were so proud to be out of their clothes. It was like, no.
What the sad part is, and I've heard this from many people, they know they're little as hell, and they got the nerve to still think they attract women. And I'm like, no, you don't. You look repulsive.
Yeah, they did. I mean, they had no qualms about it.
Okay, so Sam, you can search records, like you can search a business out. Here's what I was talking about. You'll put in like a firm name or any kind of search of what you're looking for. and you see where it says Dun and Bradstreet number only, Duns only. You can also research a company by just putting in their Duns number.
Okay, you want to make sure they're doing the same thing you have done.
And it'll tell you how many contracts they've won. And the thing is, even if you don't win the contract, you can look up who did win the contract. And then what you do is you send a proposal to them, because many of them are always looking to subcontract. Especially if they got big multi-million-dollar contract, they can't do all of that work on their own. So they're always looking for somebody to subcontract.
Oh yeah, that's the name of the game in the world of construction. Because what they'll do is
approach them with your offer, and you get a piece of that contract.
That general, when the general gets the contract, they may sub out. Like when I worked at the ballpark in San Francisco, Pac-Bell Park, and the general, they subbed out the one guy that I'm going to hook you up to. They subbed out the seating and the concession stands for him. Ooh, he had a lot of work just on that alone. Just putting in seats and concession stands. And then the sub had subbed out. They had to do a lot of the plumbing, so they had to tear up them streets and deal with that and stuff. And then they subbed out the electrical, and then something else they subbed out the they had to put in fire sprinklers too. So the subcontractor, they was trying to sub out all of it. They didn't want to have no responsibility.
And that's what happens a lot. They don't want to do none of the work. They want to subcontract it. So even if you don't win the contract, what you do is you go to the person that did win and say, look, this is what I can do for you if you know, as a subcontractor. And that's how a lot of people, even if they don't win the contract, they still ultimately end up with work.
Oh yeah.
You know,
yeah, what you're talking about. I know exactly.
Now, this is another one you want to sign up with. This one's called fedbizops.gov. Now, in order to be on this site, they do want you to be registered with SAM.
Oh, okay.
So once you register with SAM, then you can come over here and register with fedbizops.gov. If you don't have a SAM registration, they won't even let you have a contract. All right.
Yeah.
So then,
I just want the family to know, when you are dealing with these companies and you may have some concern about them, go to ripoffreport.com. They'll let you know about if these businesses are corrupt. And another thing that I like, they have a breakdown. They'll let you know the scams that are being ran in the Black community, in the elderly community, in all races, in the churches, and all of that. Ripoffreport.com. I always believe in doing I do like what white folks do. I do a deep research. I'm gonna check your behind as much as I can. Don't go for no surface stuff. Don't go for no big talk. Like my father said, you want to see that stuff in writing. Don't go for that.
Now, when you come here and once you have your SAM, now one thing about this site, you don't actually have to log in and to use it. Like if you don't feel like logging in and you just want to see what opportunities are here, you can just do a search. So let's say I just want to look in the state of California. I want to look at pre-solicitation. These are new contract deals that have just been posted. All right. So
what does pre-solicitation mean? I don't know what that word means.
These are new contracts.
Okay. Okay.
Contracts that have been posted.
Okay.
So then let's say I want construction. So then I'm going to type that in and it's going to show me search. And it's going to show me all of the construction jobs right now that the federal government has contracts for in the state of California.
Wow.
And look, it's like 5 pages.
Woo! I'm looking at the dates on it. It's very current.
Yeah. All right. So these are all the jobs in the state of California. And some of them will list what they are. They'll tell you it's a multi-million-dollar contract. Some of them don't tell you because they want you to ask for a certain amount in your proposal.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it takes some research and everything, but you can still do it. So, you know, a lot of these.
Another question I want to ask.
Uh-huh.
Are you do you have to do the bidding?
Yes.
Okay, so
Only
then
time you don't have to bid is if you just want to, you see who won. It'll show you who won the contract, and you approach them and say, look, I want to be part of your a subcontractor for this job. Then you don't have to really bid.
Okay.
You don't have to bid at all. You're just going to wait for their response. Well, they'll say, yeah, well, send me this such and such in writing about how you are going to do this job and blah, blah, blah. And once you write that up, you know, they'll either give you part of the contract or, you know, they'll decide. But in most cases, they're so desperate to get people, it's easy to get the subcontract, even if you didn't win the actual award.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm gonna have you to talk to my godfather, because his specialty is he's an estimator and he's a bidder. And like I said, he's been in construction for over 50 years.
Now look at this one. They just want HVAC replaced at the VA. Yeah. Healthcare Center, the VA. So this contract, it tells you right here, it's between $2 and $5 million.
Now, do you know about
and look what it's
hazardous waste? Hazardous waste.
Okay, just let me show you one more thing, and let me and then I'll get back to your question.
No problem.
They'll ask for your company name, your address, point of contact, so who they're going to call about, you know, if they decide to give you this award or not, who do they need to call, phone number, and DUNS. You see how they're specifically asking for that Dun and Bradstreet?
DUNS keep popping up.
Right there, right? And then at the bottom, they will show you right here, contracting office. You can either mail your proposal to them, or in some cases, they'll have like an email address. So you will email it to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they always have that at the very bottom, point of contact, Michael Banks. And all they want is a HVAC for a hospital building.
Wow.
For $2 to $5 million right here.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
And you know, you can get that done for less than 5 million, even less than 2 million. Yeah. And then you can either go on a watch list for the opportunity. And here's the other good thing. Let me sign in. Accept. Another good thing is you can be on a watch list, and they'll show you all of the vendors that are watching this particular.
Damn, those things are enormous. They can't get all those fulfilled.
Right.
Jeez.
So then all you do is you just sit back and wait for who they reward it to, and then you approach them and say, look, you know, hey, I can clean up the waste afterwards, or I can, you know, I can come in there and paint the building, paint the entire building for this amount of money. And that's all you do. They'll even show you who won the contract. Yeah, so you can see all of that stuff when you come out here. So yeah, you can just look at opportunities for California, and it's really good because if you want to select, you can select multiple territories, and you see how it shows you all of the U.S., Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is the whole country. So you can get a project in Alaska if you want one. You can get it anywhere, anywhere in the country. And, you know, there's a different site, like if you want to do a lot of international work, you know, and people told me those you really got to be careful with, because you're not going to physically be in a place like Saudi Arabia. You want to make sure you got people that really are going to do the work.
Yeah, you can't reach out that far.
You know, it's kind of hard to check on people, and you're in a whole different country. So
the suggestion that I like to give the family is, It don't even have to be construction, just business in general.
It can be some, look, you can do food for the prisons. You know, they have that for people in federal prison. They
Get
need
out of here.
all the time. You can be a food supplier for the prisons, providing food. Yeah, look,
My goodness.
show you. Let me see if I can pull that up.
So while you're pulling that up, I just wanted to quickly say, any type of business that we get in, I strongly suggest folks to get a PO box and keep their personal address separate from their business. It really helps. I've had a PO box for years and I love it. And also what I love about having my PO box, it gives you a sense of privacy too as well. You don't, just something just to think about, to have your own, so you don't have your house address mixed into it.
Do you know sometimes they look for janitorial services? So you
Now,
can
I was looking at that when you were pulling that. I was reading the list and I seen that. I was shocked.
let me tell you what the federal government, they're looking for somebody to buy them paper bags. Okay, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You have the ability to fulfill these contracts. They're just looking for somebody to buy paper bags.
You know what, Lisa? I know people probably are astounded by that. I tell you, when we had the carpet cleaning service, you would run into different in the world of business, and we got a contract. Believe it or not, all we had to do was put paper. It was this one building in downtown Oakland. I think there was about 15 stories, and all we had to do was put toilet paper in, anything that was related to paper that was in the bathroom.
Right.
That was it. We didn't have to clean or anything, and we only had to do that 5 days a week. So we would start at the top, and we would go there at midnight and just load it up and come all the way down. I said, just the paper.
And look at this one, y'all. They just want janitorial services for this recreational building.
Wow.
Utilities and housekeeping services. And these contracts sometimes can be 5 years. They want you to hire because I was looking at some of them. They want you to hire housekeeping that will clean their building for the next 5 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, you should really sit down and look at these. Here's another one: disposable trays and napkins. See, this is for the Bureau of Prisons.
And then paper bags.
Yes,
that's the one I'm not getting.
Paper bags. And I mean, the government will spend top dollar for this stuff. And the money they give you, you don't have to spend a fraction of it to fulfill these contracts. And see, I want to
tell you. What do I see here? Milk what? The letters are tiny.
Fortifier. Milk fortifier.
Get out of here.
And you look at this: steamer and kettle repair. So people that can repair equipment in the kitchen. Okay. So like I said, these are things that any of us can do. And I saw one for 300 pairs of ski boots. Listen to me. The contract was for $200,000. For 300 pairs of
these folks be stealing.
For the Army.
The stuff that they think up is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen some stuff out here. I almost fell off of my seat, but y'all should just come out here and look. I'm telling you, even if you don't have any real business experience, I even saw one, my son and I saw one, and they wanted 1 million gauze pads.
Okay.
That's all they wanted. One, and the contract was for like $450,000. 1 million gauze pads, y'all. Now, don't tell me you don't have the ability to buy gauze pads. Okay, come on now, you can do that, right?
I would go straight online and order that and cut out the middleman.
Right. You know, that's what I'm talking about. Don't tell me there is nothing on there that you can't do. I don't believe
Get your wholesaler license. Get your wholesaler license too.
There is no way there's nothing on there you couldn't find. No way. Okay, no way, y'all.
And keep in mind about hazmat too. Hazmat, hazardous waste. I'm certified in hazmat. I'm trained too as well. And also, they call it going green. because you know they want to be more what do you call it? And respectful towards Mother Nature going green. But after I know you didn't get a chance to see it. I did the video about the junk that's in outer space. Lisa, I was literally shocked. I mean, your subs can send you stuff, then you go, is this real? I didn't know that outer space had all that junk with them putting them satellites up there, and they said they'll crash into each other and break up and stuff. It's just amazing. I mean, I know we won't go up there, but they gonna need contractors out of space to clean up the debris.
Queen, they had one at one of the prisons that's not far from where I live. And guess what they wanted? Bread delivery for the next year.
Damn.
And it was $1 million contract. It was a $1 million contract to take bread to
Into
the
the prison
prison
system. Mhm.
for a whole year.
Amazing.
For a whole year. That's all they wanted you to do. You wouldn't even
Right.
have to do that yourself. You can hire people, buy the bread and hire people to take it up there.
Go to the bread store.
Right.
Go straight to the bakery.
That's all they wanted. Yes,
Mhm.
they do kosher food. They do milk. They do people. One I saw meat. They just wanted somebody to buy the beef for the.
So with that alone, with the bread, you could go to, like, because you know those bread stores, the bakery is right there.
All they wanted was somebody to be a buyer for beef for the prison system, the federal prison system. For like, I think the contract was like for 3 years. For 3 years, you be their beef buyer.
Who comes up with this stuff?
Yeah, y'all. That's why I'm saying get on there. And not only that, like I said before, during times of disasters, it's going to be a lot easier for you to get a contract.
Yeah, chaos. Mhm.
Because they're going to be desperate to get bodies anywhere a disaster strikes in the U.S.
Mhm.
And we know the hurricanes are going to come and mess shit up.
And you know what? You would think they would be prepared by now. You would think that these people would be ready, and they run into the same damn problem over and over and over.
Yeah.
And act like they don't know what to do. And I think it's done deliberately because, like you said, people feel sorry for people. They donating money. You know, people are sending in all type of donations, and they just think got blatant and straight up just tell us don't send no clothes, don't send this and that, send money. Over
Right.
in where did they have that big tsunami at a few years ago?
Indonesia.
People had delivered clothes there.
Mm-hmm.
They had literally in this beach, it had to be close to a mile wide of just clothes, and
Yeah.
people were picking through it, and this their sheer greed. They just want the money, and I see how easy it is to steal in the midst of a disaster and chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I
And you know what? And there were also, speaking of the black woman that got that $158 million contract to get freeze-dried food, they also had another contract for somebody to get nothing but canned vegetables to Puerto Rico. That's all they wanted was somebody to ship, I think, like a few million cans of vegetables and fruits to Puerto Rico. And it was also a multi-million-dollar contract.
Amazing.
So that's what I'm saying. This is what you want to get on, y'all.
Mhm.
You know?
Mhm.
And I also want to thank many of you that became patrons. You know, some of you did step up to the plate, and I do appreciate you having my back because, you know, on YouTube, we don't know. It is not a stable environment for Black YouTubers. So
No.
if you support us, then we can keep it moving, and they can't disrupt us.
Yeah, and we will survive this. You know, I know it's irritating because I could hear the irritation in your voice when you said they got me and stuff. And I mean, like, you know, to Ren Rain, he had to find his unique way to get around the beast, and he's still able to get his voice out there. And what they really doing at the end of the day, they really doing us a favor and don't even realize it. It's like, okay, I've been procrastinating too much. Let me start purging myself off of this stuff and get over there and really support our our own. I'm gonna continue to use YouTube, but I'm gonna make those announcements like you make and go over there and really just give it to them, because I'm tired of holding back and stuff. I didn't got to the point I laugh at it because I'm like, ooh, these people are fragile.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they can't handle nothing.
Mm-mm.
But
And
I mean, it's been good. I'm gonna have to cut out
okay.
again, but I want you to come join me on my next hangout, and I'm gonna try to get Sister Shayla on here with us.
Yeah, yeah. I
We-
hate that happened to Shayla.
Yeah. And then we'll get even more into the process of signing up and what to expect. It's really not a hard process at all.
I thank you. I'm learning a lot. I didn't know nothing about this. I'm excited.
I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've done.
Mhm.
And maybe,
Is that gonna be the Patreon hangout that you're talking about?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, not for that. But we'll do another one and we'll get even more into contracting and how to look for one that's good for you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes a few of them will require that you have a website, and I'll show you the cheap way you can get around that without spending a lot of money.
Okay.
It's real cheap, dirt cheap, dirt cheap.
I'm always gonna stay a master student. I have so much to learn.
Yeah. So we'll talk about this further. We'll definitely, because I see many of you are interested. So
Mhm.
maybe we'll do a part 2 of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, Queen, for allowing me on your
Sure. I'm glad
channel.
on. It was a pleasure having you here. And
Mhm.
it was a pleasure having everybody in the chat part here. And
Mhm.
again, like I said, thank you for those that came forward. I appreciate everything you do, and I will continue to come out here and do my best for you. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. And I would say maybe sometime by midweek, we'll do another hangout over here on this channel, because I still can't do it on my other channel. I'm blocked for the next 3 months. All right. Shalom, family. All right. Okay.